Vi. And of course, the RE being banned out by themselves remove that option. Does mean that the Silas goes top lane. Not Silas, the Galio goes top lane in a way that we expected. As the Rel comes in last. This isn't Silas top, is it? No, it's just so I swap over. It's very likely that the Galio mid and the... the Silas mid and the Galio top. I'm mixing my words early in the day for us. And
I'm looking at both these comps here, and I'm seeing that the one-item spikes on both teams get pretty scary here. You know, you're looking at the level 6 marks and going Vi, Rumble, Annie, Rel, all pressing R at once. On the other side, the Galio, Neferi, Silas with a lot of really good stolen ultimates. The other Varus, like Varus getting involved too. Like those early skirmishes around things like grubs, they're gonna get pretty violent. You have to imagine.
Oh, I hope so. I hope we hit like level 4 and everyone's like, I've got a second point in one of my key abilities. That's good enough reason for me. Gonna put it on a 1 minute outbreak so we can extend the timer a little bit on the game just in case it goes late. And we'll get into our first game of the playoffs play-ins. Reminder here: the stakes are you win.
Has been roaming about, musing on woulds, shoulds, and maybe coulds. Instead, let's turn into the reality of life. Let's listen to the gyos across the crowds.
敌军还有30秒到达战场，碾碎他。
IG, early invade here, looking to catch out Angel. It's a good start with the Abscond of Duck. Still holding on to the stun, of course. Zenith Blade after will be forced to flash. Rough loss at the level 1 there from EDG.
Angel punished a little, and there's the only loss you have is scaling the E on Silas, which you don't always want to do at level 1, but in this matchup I think that's fine too, so that's a nice win there. IG clearly coming in with a decent level 1 plan, which is nice. One of the ways that they could of course slip up here is just not respecting their opponents, saying, oh, we'll just coast over them. This is an elimination match, technically, so glad to see that IG not coasting into this first few minutes of the first game.
For sure. I think the other side of that, then you have to sort of talk about perhaps Mako starting the Zenith Blade on Leo. Not the worst thing, but you sometimes see things like the shielded Daybreak starts if you really want to get in melee range by just walking up. So some ability choices which might have hurt in other matchups. I think they'll be fine here nonetheless. And the Flash, especially into things like a Neferi, could get very scary. We've seen what happens when GJ gets ahead of the curve. He's been one of our most consistently dangerous jungles in the league. Of course, didn't have the greatest last series. But all the same, generally speaking, he has been one of our top performers. Outside, understandably, the level 1 early pressure, pretty good there, though IG with the early shove. Gala with the Hail of Blades as well, so going towards that poke option. Even with the Hail of Blades, of course, you can get some of those decent auto trades early too.
And of course, one of the biggest things to talk about here today, 1,000 games hit for Rookie, only the 3rd player to do so within the LPL, still playing ever since he joined back in 2015, came over from the OGN in Season 4, where he was a champion in Season 4 Summit on KT Arrows. And he does, you know, he has left himself in the real pantheon of LPL. This guy has been such an honor and a joy to watch throughout his career here.
Somehow feels wrong that Xiaohu's only 12 games ahead of him. You kind of don't realize they were both kind of coming in at the same time. Insane stuff, really. Two of our greats still playing.
Yeah. So Xiaohu came in just a little bit later than Rookie, but has had more playoffs runs. Basically, over the last couple of years, Rookie has had some less games. When you look at someone like Xiaohu had like the extended playoffs runs into the regionals on stuff like Weibo. He's of course been multiple champion as well in a way that Rookie, I believe he's only ever won the 1 LPL title. He won in 2019 spring. That's the only one he's ever actually won. Flash into that bot side, flash away rather from Garlet.
And the cleanse as well, and Vi was coming, so we did need to happen actually. I think if there'd been too much CC going on there, that chain could have been very dangerous indeed. So good set of summoners to have blown there, despite the shove. Mako stopped a little bit themselves, gets mounted up on, has the Eclipse now pop, but just get under turret, and the aftershock will keep them well enough. Speaking of people with all experience, the only person outside of Xiao who has more games than Rookies, in fact, or Xiao who has Rookies, there you go, that's the correct phrasing, is Mako.
Yeah. Mako there, and let's just do the last of our chores when it comes to that, because we were seeing that 2v2 towards that bot side. Talking about, you know, all these Victor's Gaming members, blah, blah, blah. Mako's in there. Of course, holding that role for IG support last year was Wink. Or rather, year before that, in 2023. In 2023, it was Arn and Wink who were together on IG. And then Wink left to go to EDG last year.
Yeah.
Stayed over there. And it was, of course, Vampire that went from EDG over to IG at the same time. But yeah, Arnold Wink facing up now against their old organization, a team where they didn't find that much success, but they did build a lot of synergy as a duo together over time.
And I think the other thing is that obviously we had
Hang
some
on,
hope.
Gala has no summoners here. If there's a Hex Flash, this could be a problem, actually. Okay, nothing more.
I saw what you saw. There was definitely a world where something could have happened. There was the ward and the tri-brush that they knew about, so Gala was positioning just far enough out to make it a little tricky. Goes at full tilt there briefly, does Wink, but only for a second or two and decides against it. Turns out Iron Horses can only move in fast spurts for, you know, brief moments of time.
Gala is still 10 CS up, so he's happy with how things are going despite losing the summoners. EDG have not been able to return to do that much there. Top lane is fine. Typically, it's just Galio being able to get the early shove onto Rumble if needed, and then, of course, scaling into something which just stops Rumble from having fun.
Yeah.
You know, Rumble doesn't get the free winning matchup. Yes, he still will win with Conqueror, Leandris, and Riftmaker. It's not enough to get solo kills a lot of the time, but it's not enough to like really change the game. And then in team fights, the Galio ultimate denies a lot of the equalizer too, so the Shy getting some value there, which leaves players like Rookie and Sajeja to have a lot more fun when they can jump in with the Galio coming on their heads.
Angel's Flash isn't quite up yet. See as the marker turns grey. Coming up shortly, saw JJ just hanging around. Didn't go for it. Of course, Rookie was still teleporting back to lane, and with level 6s being hit, can always be a bit scary to face check an Annie. Mako, speaking of face checking, does get a lot of people on top of him very shortly. Gets a decent amount of CC back. Gets the Zenith Blade flash on out. Xiaohu now in danger, but gets the relentless force through JJ to get the kill. Now Gala, remember, with no flash, does need to be a bit wary here. Gets the level up, hit by the Deadly Flourish. That'll be the Shattering Strike, and surely a crash down afterwards. You have to imagine. Trying to get the last orders down. Flashes forwards, gets it. Wink out to safety for a second, but the Dark and Dagger should mean that Wink falls here after. Picks up the kill. Flash away won't keep them safe, as JJ needs to get away with the call of the pack. But we'll at least get one back. It's a 2-for-1 in favor of EDG.
So, that bot lane facing up against their previous team manages to finally punch the fact that Gala didn't have his summoners, and they get something out of that. Slim gold lead for EDG now, and a reminder that IG do sometimes have a bit of a wobble in the early game, especially if they lose track of plan A. It's normally into the later game where they feel a bit better. They had a series versus FPX, it was their last series, in fact, which they fell behind in both early games and had to work their way through it with some mid and late game prowess and team fighting. And, yeah. But it's their early game where we sometimes worry about them, so if you come in with some better plans, you manage to get the most out of it. It's one of the things we worry about for IG.
Shine gets a decent chunk there onto ZDZ. We'll see exactly how he decides to build it. Currently with the Barmies, seems like he's actually going for a tank build, my goat.
I mean, you do kind of have to versus the Rumble. In fairness, you go towards the Horror Radiance, otherwise why are you picking into this matchup?
Well, yeah, so I'm going Rocket Belt for the memes and the vibes, Alex.
Actually, that's the point. You know, I gotta check real quick. Actually, let's see what the. Okay, no, that's a Durex advert. That's a little bit different. Eventually there'll be patch notes on there, and we'll see whether it's 0.10, because there are some API optimization changes on that. Also, not entirely sure whether playoffs will be played all on the same patch. Obviously, it takes a little while to get through all of the games. It'd be important to see which patch we're starting on then for the duration of playoffs.
The Shy Builds Protection, folks, sponsored by Durex. They're on the screen in front of you. What do you know? Grubs with nerve spawns. It'll be JJ starting those up.
Xiaohu, instead going towards bot side, can go towards that Dragon start. We did say, hey, there's real potential for early skirmishing from both sides. But you don't necessarily want to be throwing too many early openings out to the other team.
Who's coming on down now towards those grubs? I think we'll probably put a ward into the back of the pit if I had to guess. The Shy has gone towards the bot lane, has got no TP, but does have the ultimate, so always able to cheat a little bit that first, but only at the first rank of the ultimate. Gallia does actually have to get relatively close to burn the hero's entrance, but no contest around those grubs, and instead we can see EDG setting up around this dragon, but IG look like they might want to fight for this one too.
I think they're just moving in force just to make sure there's no dive attempts, or if they could interrupt the dragon start, which of course the dragon hasn't been started, so I suppose that's objective achieved there from IG. And now you do have Galio on that side of the map, so he could respond. There was a pick off. They have, however, left top lane a little bit open for ZDZ. very important as EDZ does get some gold to his name and gets rolling, because this Rumble is the key part of this EDG composition. You have CC from every other member of this composition from EDG. They are angling to set up for a great equalizer, which will be a lot of the DPS that they need to get involved.
If we spotted the patch notes
No,
yet.
that's why it's still minimized for us, Sam.
That's fine.
Well, it's not, because you wanted to tab out,
I
Sam.
did, and then I didn't.
I want to tab out because I want to see the full screen.
Yeah,
That's great, Sam.
and then I went, wait, we've not seen the patch notes yet, have
which
we?
is why I stopped you.
And which is also why I stopped, because I was like, I need to make sure, and I'm glad we did, as Gala needs to be aware of things like cease and desists into Tibbers combos, which lead to his demise.
Really not sure about blowing the cleanse there. Just don't be there. You don't have to be there. You have members on reset. You are not getting out of that one safely, and this is the problem of playing up against a composition. Like EDGs, they very quickly pick you off if you're out of position, and Gala now 0 and 2. Luckily doesn't blow his flash at the same time. That could be up now for an important play afterwards. It's very hard for Avaris to escape if he's actually within range of that Vi ultimate.
Now, with a good start there, gets himself to 1-0 and 1. It is, of course, Gala, who has been punished pretty heavily so far in this early game, and particularly Arn has come out pretty happy from it. Picked up a kill and a couple of assists, has got that Dirk early, and Jin playing against a relatively melee range composition. It's a bit annoying, and he's just more CC to the chain, and there's a lot of CC in this chain.
So much, and it's a lot of it's quite long-range follow-up too. You know, Rel can follow up from quite a long range way away. Vi obviously can do, and the Jin W being the key parts of that. So now, again, only a slim gold lead, basically none for EDG, but a removal of a summoner on Gala and a bit of a reality check for him to say, okay, you gotta pay respect. Shows what EDG do want to do. While all this is happening, Rookie has actually gained himself a decent CS lead over Angel's Annie, who's played this champion for a long time, actually. I say that now. He was around for it in 2023, of course. I was trying to remember if he played before that, and actually I think I'd be lying if I said that it was only really 2023 when he came up into meta. Before that was a bit of an LS meme, really. He was just like a, hey, Annie should be played, and you can learn the game very well through it, but never really found itself to priority before that point. But still, Rookie getting a really good lead here, and this Silas going towards the Rod of Ages will have a bit more bulk to shrug off that combo.
And he just went through her worst nightmare there. Had to kill Tibbers. It was awful. He's stolen away from her, left her behind.
Have you seen my bad Tibbers? No, Tibbers. JJ going topside, might pull the ult here, but I think it's EDZ safe. Titty boots.
Exactly how this one goes. He's on the Dark Dagger. It's a fair amount of damage, but he does get to scrap shield out and feels okay about it. Straight back. Another set of Dark Daggers. Ow. EDZ loses quite a lot of his HP bar and be forced to ult the wave now as a result. Couldn't stick around anymore.
Yeah, it took a little bit too much damage to stick around there. Xiaohao on the other side, going to run into Mako on a brush. It's Q for Q. Rookie, as we said, has the extra HP from the Catalyst component going in towards the Rod of Ages as well. Now it's Arn's turn to be caught out in mid lane.
Yeah, takes a lot of damage, flashes away, won't keep hunting for too much more. Flash for ult trade. Happy enough if that one is JJ. Minutes until the next dragon, so definitely punishable is Arm without that flash.
Again, we are a region of cooldown economy. Sometimes you just want to blow a cooldown like that, so it opens up an opportunity, say in 2 minutes for one of the big objectives, Herald or Dragon coming up then.
Does that make like cooldown boots and stuff like a recession in the economy?
Why?
Because it's like shrinking, isn't it? Your cooldowns are shrinking.
Isn't it increasing the availability of such commodities?
That's a good question. Which way around is it, Alex?
I would imagine that Ionian boots are like isn't that industrial? No, it's not industrialization because it's not that revolutionary.
Yeah,
that'll be like summon a spellbook.
That's true.
Actually, no. That's like a counterfeit. Like that's like pirate radio. No, it's not pirate radio. I'm trying to think something which it's kind of fraudulent, right? The spellbook.
Yeah,
it's kind of that.
Cheating out.
That is kind of like your, because it doesn't give you the full value of the summon.
It's like an IOU version of a summoner. Like,
yeah, that's actually like lend lease or something. Yeah. That's the lend lease economy.
Actually, have you seen what they're doing with ARAM on Wild Rift, by the way?
Oh, they're adding in the arena augments, aren't they? Which is so cool. Onto ARAM, I would play that anyway, but
yeah, I know. But I feel like that's very Nymaera coded.
It is very Nymaera coded. I load into ARAM with my silly little augments, hoping to get Zyra with True Shot Prodigy and Auto Gas.
Reminder, sat next to the rank 1 arena player
in the US.
In the US, exactly.
Yeah, I still stand by. I never saw a better Zyra on arena specifically than myself during the team. That's pretty damn good at that.
I want to see you versus Yike. Zyra 1v1. Let's go.
Yeah, Angel has no flash, so he might have himself 1v2.
Scream on! Gets hit by the Solar Flare. gets a little bit roasted, but it's not a 3rd degree, so it's just got a nice tan instead.
Okay, so blows doesn't have to blow the flash rod. That's coming off of cooldown was just unavailable. I suppose on the other side, Mako uses his ignite, so 1 cooldown down. Dragon now up in 20 seconds, but Angel can come in, and he'll have flash, and he'll have the malignant. So I think IG should get out of dodge down to say, all right, we had an opportunity to take away the enemy mid laner. We lost that opportunity. Let's not push our luck.
We'll hop over the wall and get out of the river. Now designated hell. I've suddenly got meatloaf in my head as a result. Like a dog out of hell.
Oh man, it's sad that FPX ended up replacing Bat.
Yeah.
It would have been the Bat out of hell. It would have been good. Angel used his ult in bot. Oh, rather, still had his ult in bot side. That's the ult thrown from his EDC now.
Not a fantastic ult, but it's kept the Shy a little bit in range for some more autos. Gets another bit of a decent chunk, and the overheat's pretty good. Ends up being an even trade of health bars. And look where IG are. They've got the grubs. They can just walk at this turret and kind of just take it.
Yeah, and Rookie's been taking the Tibbers. Even though you don't get the stun from the stolen Annie ult, you do get to use, as we saw in the last play. Hang on a second. Gal lands the slow into the root.
Oh,
Mako not landing that Zenith play, so on even without that flash was saved. Did have plenty if he wanted to walk away, but I actually think if Mako walked in there, chances are he just actually gets CC'd by Wink and dies. So questions upon questions. I was just saying this before though. Rookie does have that Annie ultimate. See if we can use it here actually. It's not going to be here in time.
Mako going into the back of this. They'll pick up the Herald in terms of the kill on it, but the Torpor and Shadow getting over the wall has to flash out. Now they can't get the eye.
And they lose the Dragon on the other side, so IG walk away objective for objective, but EDG don't get to use that Herald. It's a trade up for them.
Pretty decent, all things said and done. Yes, you get the pip towards the objective markers, and it's worth noting because IG got the first turret, EDG got the first 3 kills, so it really is whoever gets his next objective that will get those upgraded boots to their name. But I think, as we noted, the really cool part of that is the fact they won't have that Herald to work with.
Gold lead has not really increased for either team, which is obviously a good way to kind of spot the snowball, and he's going against Corsaires. Both of these teams have early fighting opportunities. EDG have had a couple of good picks. IG on the other side feels like they've been forcing EDG to drop more waves than IG has dropped, though. So it's kind of kills for CS, I suppose. And I suppose right now actually hasn't lent to that much at all in all. The Shy clearing up. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to dive someone like a Gallery, even on the weak side, strong side of the map. They throw out the ult to him, and again, just doesn't do anything. He's got the Hollow Radiance and the Merc Treads. Very hard to take down.
TPing, Zenithblade interrupts it. They were looking to go bot with that. That puts him in problematic position as the Shy doing his best to hold on. The curtains are called. They are going to try and dive it. Magnustorm finally comes on down. The Shy dodges most of the shots. He's out of range of them all on. You've got to do better than that. They finally bring him down. But how much do they blow to bring down the Galio?
While this is happening, first turret goes to the side of IG, so they'll claim that in terms of the feats of strength. Yes, it's quite hard for them to pull up. Well, no, it would be the next objective now, which will seal the feats of strength. All in all, they'll get mid turret as well as EDC, who wasn't allowed to go top side, instead equalizes mid lane. But as you were saying, it is a little short, which means that they can't clear out the entire wave, and the tower goes down.
So that ends up being 2 turrets for a trade of a kill and a turret, and a lot of resources. But again, ZDC blew his TP, didn't manage to get down there because Mako flashed in, to be fair, so another bit of a trade there to be noted, but that's a lot burned to make that happen. At least a lot of the ultimate cooldowns and that cooldown economy we're talking about should be back up in time for the next objective. Like, here's that replay on the box.
The Shy plays this individually very well, uses that E to dodge out a bunch of CC. The Magnustorm just bumps the Shy out of that shot, and sadly for him, he can't get the kill himself, but the Shy does still go down. Some fancy moves not able to help him survive, nor does it save the turret.
No, it doesn't. Said IG with 3 turrets to just the 1 of EDG. You've got a lot more control over this map, and when you've got a Galio, a Silas, and a Nefiri, your ability to collapse real fast off good vision control should be pretty damn scary here for EDG. Do decent face checkers-ish, but they often want to do it on their terms, with their vision to throw down their own CC chain, rather than have, say, the Annie face check and get blown up with her lack of mobility.
Speaking of that, Annie is going towards the Rylai's second, interestingly. I did see, hang on a second, does have that flash, does have to use it. Mako, on the whole, Mako's had a decent game being an instigator, not necessarily leading to, well, for him, it hasn't led to any kill participation, but the fact that it's removed some cooldowns, still fairly important.
Interrupted teleports, got a lot of cooldowns. That's not too bad. I'd like it to convert into some kills, but again, so far, IG have only picked up the 1 kill. This is not the team I know and love and have to scrub blood off my screen for, as Angel Wink, and in fact the majority of EDG are now on the roam on down here towards this bot side. ZDZ has even come all the way down towards this mid lane to try and get a bit of priority. But a minute and a half until the next dragon, so my assumption is EDG looking to regain control of their own jungle and set up maybe a ward or two around.
Atacon up in a minute, trying to think where the game's next going to be decided. The big thing I'm noticing right now is vision control largely in favor of IG. There is only one ward from EDG into the other side of the jungle, and I suppose when it comes to IG, up until this kind of timestamp is typically where they do tend to fall apart a little bit. And I'm not going to say they have fallen apart, that's not what I'm saying in regards to this game. But they've struggled in their early game more than their mid and late game. Mid and late game has been where they've come back against teams like FPX and the weaker teams within Group SM with superior macro and team fighting. If they keep up stuff like this vision control to allow them the ability to actually fight for this dragon in a minute, if the Atacon afterwards, that's where IG tend to come alive, and EDG will have to be aware of that.
Look at the likes of, say, Rookie here, who's got 2 items largely done. I think this rower will be at 9 stacks shortly, and that should be a pretty scary position to be in. There's that Ryalize you talked about done for the Annie. We'll keep our eyes on it.
Yeah, good stat stick and into... okay, it's not... I would still prefer Leandri's for the actual damage output, but you're against quadruple melee, so the Ryalize can help with that with the Malignance Burn. Make her rooted up.
Wink, it's a good solar flare, gets a slow onto Arn. Wink now in danger is on the other side. Rookie with the stolen cease and desist could hijack some of the police force's tools and try and use them against their force. Arn to back very far away with the kill onto Wink. They have the man advantage. They're looking to start up the dragon while Rookie and Mako look to find an additional bit of a fight. Rookie goes quite deep here though, eats a lot of damage. Galio's coming in to try and keep him alive. Flashes away, gets a bit of healing. Off the equalizer. Huge healing with that Kingmaker. Still finally goes down, trying to get turned around on as Tibbers comes flying on through. JJ with the reset. ZDZ rooted up. Fails to flash to anywhere meaningful. Does at least get one back on the way, but a reset on the Hound's Pursuit gets something. Arn though standing and delivering. Actually makes this a lot trickier than I think it was going to be on paper. He's quite scared.
The Ryalize
though on the Tibbers, even from beyond the grave, is proving really problematic. Flash away from the deadly flourish. They did get the dragon though, it's worth noting, but it ends up being a 3 for 3 because of course Wink has respawned.
Very surprised that EDG managed to turn that around at the end of it. But no one can teamfight like an IG player. EDG have a couple which have spent some time there themselves. Arn and Wink started off that play. Wink getting caught out a little too far, but Arn stayed alive long enough to make a difference. A player who last year I think was on exceptional form, struggled to recapture a lot of that coming into 2025 after a break in split 1. Started, as we said, with a bit of a tussle between the supports. Wink gets completely blasted. At this point we think, okay, well, fight's maybe over at this point. Rookie decides to go for a bit of a later fight, but ZDZ has a lot of damage with the 2 items. Rookie doesn't get the best fight ever, has to keep regenerating off the first target in front of him. And this flash from ZDZ, while it doesn't look that important right now, does manage to flash out of the arrow and gets a last bit of flame spitter across all of them. So while the flash, it looks like a fail flash, it avoids the Varus arrow that would have killed him, and that allows him to put down the damage, which allows Arn to clean up.
I hear you, and I kind of agree. It got him to buy a lot of time, and in the moment, I owe him an apology. I wasn't familiar with your flash game. You did indeed avoid potentially lethal arrow damage at the very least, and with the control ward in there as well, it was strictly off vision, so need things a little bit spicier for a little bit longer. It's actually got that second item, as you noted. Second item also done for Arn, who hasn't yet to die this game, and in fairness for EDG, an AD carry with 100% kill participation, building towards the third item, is pretty good news. Unfortunately, has slipped behind Gala just a little bit here. Could prove a little problematic because this Varus is also getting towards a pretty scary point of power here.
I mean, Gala has been ahead, I think, for most of the game. So going back to even, I think, is fairly fine all the same.
Was Arn, who was 300 gold ahead. So,
and
massive difference.
And Gala was like a 10 CS ahead in early lane.
Yeah, exactly. So, 300 gold ahead, it was clearly an Arn-favoured game.
World-shattering implications. Arn, of course, going towards that full pen build as well with Collector. First item to the early spike, and then the Lord Doms, instead of something like a Fire Cannon or Infinity Edge. I'm actually not sure about the calculations of the Lord Doms compared to that, but it does mean his abilities do hit very, very hard. Wink does have Flash. There is a clump potentially here for IG. There's no dragon here. This is just a fight for vision controller more than anything else.
Atacon is up. And of course, with dragon spawning here in about 2 minutes as well, IG are loath to give up control of this area of the map, especially because they've got all of these outer turrets. EDG don't have the easiest time using wave control to force pressure that way. Scarlet has their spell shield blown by a deadly flourish. Fortunately for them, the Edge of Night means that be quite hit by the daylight skills. Or ironically, of course, they are not on the other side of the team. Angel forced to flash. The Solar Flare came on down. Hijacks Tibbers again. Wink also turned down to about half there. Dark and Dagger's beginning to really hurt.
Angel's really struggled to impact this game the way that he would have liked to. He had that one good realized Tibbers fight, but besides that, he's been forced out of the play. The Shy playing tank, blocking off that Tri-Brush in the way that we like to see around these Atakan fights.
Xiaohao, no flash, does it the Q, tries to turn around onto the Shy, and in comes the Abscond of Dark. Xiaohao's gone, no way out, in comes Gallia with the Hero's Entrance. It's interrupted by Wink, though, with the Magnet Storm. Will die for this. The curtain's being called, though. Could get problematic. The Shy needs to dodge, does a good job. Into the backline goes JJ, needs to make sure he's invulnerable. With the W, Atakan stealing a lot of his HP. Needs to back away, gets the Dark and Dagger healing. Back on out, best they can. They lose Rookie. Atakan resets, EDZ low as he was tagged by that piercing arrow. IG with a 1-ish fight, but it's again a pretty even state of affairs, all things said and done, and no one gets the Atakan.
I mean, given how these fights are starting, EDG are rallying very, very well around on Angel, ZDZ as continued damage sources. IG are just going a little too far to allow an extra cooldown to go onto them, and often we say, hey, IG, they will just out-team fight you at some point in the game. Well, that's not happening easily here. Yes, there's a good initial pick onto Xiaohao, but the damage doesn't go onto Angel, ZDZ, or On. Then you do have the Tibbers with the Rylize, wreaking absolute havoc on the backline, sticking them into On's ultimate. Huge damage coming through from On, who just completely busts Mako's HP bar wide open. And you, again, look at the end of this fight. The 3 carries of EDG basically take no damage.
What a disintegrate from Angel there as well. Manages to catch the Shy and Rookie mid-dash as he's looking for them. Oh, that's much better on that one. Dragon's back up though. And we are into the river once more. Stun built up by Angel. The Shy off to one side. Rookie as well, looking for a good hijack target. What does he steal? Equalizer comes on down. They're looking for a stolen vial. Onto the backline. Arn's in danger. Solar Flare follows onto him. He's in so much danger. Buys a bit of time. Down goes Xiaohao. Arn's trying to run away, but there's still the Hound's pursuit. And the dogs get what they were looking for. To look for potentially more after including Soul Point. Important picks onto the jungle and AD carry.
And finally dealt with by IG. I think they've had a reality check. It's what I like using, but I think it's one which they will applies pretty good to this one. Arn has been ruining their day if he's allowed to survive later into team fights. This time they finally shut him down at the start of it, and that will not just be Dragon, with the Atakan as well. The worries that we had of IG, typically they team fight their way back into the game. We had those worries a little bit earlier that it wasn't going to work. And they managed to slam the door home here, shut here.
Exactly, and it's how they team fight as well. It's this kind of composition. It's brawl with everyone able to pile in on the target they're aiming for with a bit of mobility and skill. And a good flank angle. Rookie finds a way to steal the cease and desist and jump on
On just completely obliterated. Rookie, great angle. He was trying to look for that about 2 fights ago when he got caught off going a little bit too deep. That's the kind of angle he's been looking for in EDG. They shut it down well before this point. Not this time. Now has no summoners. Does have the 3rd item with the fire cannon to play from a little bit further range. Not exactly sure that will help if Rookie can just flash towards him while Arn doesn't have the flash himself, however.
Could get a little problematic. 3rd item's now done for both AD carries, which can be a potentially big deal. I'll also note things like the arm guard in the inventory of ZDZ. Has in the inventory of Rookie actually as well, so we're starting to get to some of those more defensive utility items coming on through as well, so keep your eyes on those in terms of the mid and top laners respectively. EDG now changing their focus into where they are competing for vision control. What's the blue side, or rather the red side of EDG jungle, to get that the right way around. That's an awkward spot to reset, wasn't spotted. Should get to go back there, does Arn.
Say, my dude, you have no flash. Maybe let's not do that. I guess he wanted to stay there just in case he wanted to put a trap over the wall or something. Neither the control wall was there, but maybe don't position that without flash. IG pushing towards this top side. 3,000 gold lead. The Shy having to flash away from Xiaohao.
Gets spotted here. Do they want to fight this? I think they do. Everyone else being a little slow to come on over. Stolen Equalizer comes on down. The Shy dies. The turnaround comes on through. And Xiaohao is traded. Mako now potentially in danger as the curtains are caught. But there's a blast cone. Don't know how actually valuable that's going to be. Rookie trading up with ZDZ. ZDZ not having as much fun as he was earlier in the game in terms of those 1v1s. Loses out a little bit. The hail of arrows lands. JJ eviscerates forward, throws out some Dark and Daggers, and sends the doggos after Wink. On the other side, Angel Flash disintegrate. And somewhere out there, Darth Vader is very annoyed about his bounties. All the while, though, Wink will die for it. Blinks twice and ends up dying. Flash on forward for the Kingslayer, and a Petricite burst will blow off the head of another. Now in danger. Corner of the turret is JJ will go untargetable with the call of the pack. And the pack was calling for death. They find another kill. Arn dies, and the whole team is aced of EDG.
The Shy, the only member to fall from IG, but he's not unhappy with that. For so many big tools out of EDG at the start of that fight, and allows IG to run away with the skirmish turn team fight afterwards. EDG, they do like to scrap. These are plenty of players, as we said, which have been they've grown up within the auspices and the halls of IG. Arn and Wink spent many a game here on that team. They learned the ways of the IG scrappy team fight, but IG, they're the originals. And these are a lot of their original members here too, with Rookie and the Shy returning back to the team. They get themselves the Baron, and IG well and truly in control of this game now. 2 minutes until Ocean Soul in the driver's seat.
You only adopted the silliness. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see a structured team fight until I was already a pro.
And look at what he called out as they used onto the Galio of all things. You know, it's the Vial, it's the Equalizer thrown in as well, the Magnus Storm. That's 3 big ultimates, and it allows IG to play so much more free after this point. No, and yes, there is a really good stun coming from our Angel just after this point, which looked like it potentially could lead to something else. It doesn't actually kill anyone, though. The flash overload, yeah, it's a double stun, but Gala has the cleanse, and he manages to walk away from that. So Angel, sadly for him, really struggled to be the big instigator in these plays. He's occasionally had some good realized moments, but he's 3,000 gold behind now his opposing number. Rookie has been by far the more successful playmaker in this game.
Now got a Medjai's in inventory as well. Buy the book. Use that emote. 9 stacks in there. Looking to add another one to get a little bit of move speed and make yourself fully efficient here on the Soul Stealer. While IG splitting off into the 2-3 split push. JJ and the Shy in the mid lane. Very easy for them to respond with their long-range ultimates and giving Rookie and Gala a lot more safety. Rookie with the stolen cease and desist as well. To really turn that one around, and they turn on to ZDZ, who's got the Flame Splitter facing kind of the wrong direction, unfortunately. In comes Galio, but that's left Wink split off, who's gone in with the Magnet Storm, and unfortunately, kind of regrets his choice. It's the Shy, caught on a captive audience. In comes the Equalizer, the curtain's now getting called, and hang on, maybe a World to get turned around, but the Shy gets to back away, still has an ability to back off and reset, so ultimate's blown, but no one actually dies.
But the thing is, there's ultimates blown from EDG, and now Dragon's up anyway. They must try and go towards the Dragon contest. They get caught out. This was risky. They had to go for it, and they'll die.
Unfortunately, Annie, you've brought Tibbers to show and tell a few too many times, and you've lost your... How did this happen? Got a little deep Rookie's TP back in Garland nowadays. Does EDZ without the stoppage doing a little work? Wink gets another stun, gonna hop on forward though. Misses the abduct to go with that abscond. Can look to bring down ZDZ regardless, just needs another bit of auto. Over the wall they go, slow with the look on in, gets crashed down, so can't find him. Gone. Why is Rookie in the enemy base? This is a very silly game. Everyone's very low, and Rookie picks up another. Wink would like to get back to his fountain, please. He's gone full tilt, and Rookie's proxy farming by the Nexus turrets, and the Shy has come back in and just casually shoved through to claim the inhibitor turret in mid lane.
Well, they didn't get the soul, I guess. EDG, their goal was, okay, let's just try and stop them getting that Ocean Soul. That one's been okay, as we'll try and wave clear for all he can. Rookie steals the Jhin ultimate for reasons beyond me. There you go.
As a reminder, he does get quite good AP scalings on this with the Jhin's version.
It's okay. You have 0 pen on it, which is the problem. Really.
Yeah.
Sadly, Magic Pen doesn't transfer through onto physical pen.
Wave clear, Alex. I can press R on the wave.
Yeah. Rookie is now 4.5k ahead of his opposing number and 13 Magi stacks, so he's getting even more gold than is seen on the scoreboard himself. And yeah, lucky for some. And Rookie makes his own luck this game. EDG will unfortunately see that Soul go up to IG just a little bit delayed. They tried to stop it a little earlier. Baron will not be the best Baron play ever, but they do get themselves to the Soul after.
I kind of need a Neferi skin where she goes, fetch me their Dragon Souls as the Dragon Spawns.
Or COD zombies.
Yeah, basically.
Every 5 minutes, fetch me their souls. That was a good game mode.
It was.
I enjoyed that a lot. For those of you who didn't grow up during the initial wave of COD Zombies, you missed something special.
It was quite cool.
I feel like we grew up through some pretty good gaming.
There were some good gaming experiences.
The gaming zeitgeist at that moment, the spirit of the times was pretty cool. Stuff like, you know, the original Halo 3 Online.
Very good. COD 4.
COD 4, COD 6, and then, you know, going for Black Ops 0 as well. There were some good times, of course. Then we had some games, some small games like League of Legends, you know.
Oh, yeah, that
at some
one.
point.
Don't know that much about it, really.
It was a good time. It was a good time. Hellhound, I mean, yes, but Hellhound Fury would be very, very cool, much like Gatekeeper Galley. There is a bit of an extended flank coming in from EDG. A last hurrah, perhaps?
Well, they need to avoid adding an extra G to their name right now, because it does feel like they're on the edge of losing this game. Angel with the flash, with the stun available. Cease and desist, comboed up well there. Gala goes down, turn around from JJ, who's trying to go to Angel, so it ends up being a 1-for-1 right now. It's a very split fight. The Shy buying a lot of time. Rookie dashes away. He's got the Ocean Soul, though, so he's healing up a ridiculous amount. Tibber's dead. Hijacks the cease and desist as Rookie want to go forward. Want to see whether Arn overstepped there a little, but doesn't quite find it. Gala down for Angel is the grand scheme of things here so far.
Angel loses his flash, importantly. IG do have that Ocean Soul. They've ticked up a little bit in terms of their HP. Wink pushing up, but again, quite mobile as they're all quite hard to catch off. So IG, well, say that. Unless so, there's a stolen vial.
In comes the cease and desist, and unfortunately, it's been rephrased to be cease and deceased. As Arm finds himself in a grave for 50 seconds. Xiaohao heals up a little bit, but he's got a GA that means very little. The Guardian Angel goes, ow. Look, you only get one, and unfortunately you come back alive to go straight back to where you came from. ZDZ doing his best, throws on the barbecue, but that's just your last meal on death, right? As JJ will make sure he's untargetable for a second or two with the call of the pack. He decides that the phone call is over. Back to
Angel now alive with ultimate coming back up. Might be able to ultimate the wave. Has the passive down. Equalize comes through too. Is it enough wave clear though?
Well, the Angel on your shoulder isn't going to make all that much deal here in the real world for now. Up goes the Rumble and down they go like a wounded ox. Shout out to Periphery out there who know exactly what I'm talking about. The Nexus under fire. Angel does their best, but what do you do at this point in Invictus Gaming? Eventually the screws turn too far and they claim game one.
Scrappy affair, not exactly the cleanest wins in team fights, but IG happy to play that sort of game. They have been molded in that style of play over many years. EDG, the lowest seed, whether that is even the Jacks in the jungle as well, also on that list, that can clean up the fights.
My issue then is, it's not really an issue, it's just the caveat then, perhaps the better way of putting it, is I'm looking at IG's team and going, okay, Yorick, Jax, Ryze, Ezreal, that is a group of carries that screams 2+ items. You really want to get a couple items on most of these carries before you're really online. How long have we spoken about Ezreal 2-item spikes for now, guys? Might have been a few years by this point. On the other side, MF, Ahri, Shinzao, Nautilus, all really good at the component level, at the 1-item level. You can potentially just blow out those early skirmishes and snowball so far ahead. IG don't get to that point where their DPS check matters.
That's a good point. It's a good point. Yes, I think the 1-item spike from EDG is a little stronger. I don't think it's strong enough to make it an entire win.
What level Ahri skin is that, Al?
That one, I guess we'll see, because it has to transform throughout it. So that one's actually the base level one with that splash, but I don't... Yeah, that one's the base level splash.
Let's listen to the gyros, which will be anything like base level. Let's up the volume.
敌军还有30秒到达战场，碾碎他。
That is a very full audience. If there's anything that having so many incredible names on your roster will do, is it will draw an audience. Every single one of those members on IG has won something internationally, be that a world championship, be that an MSI. You have got a bit of a Hall of Legends of your own right there in terms of LPL royalty.
So it is worth noting, by the way, the LPL does actually have its own Hall of Legends, by the way. They booted that in, trying to remember if it was 2020 or 2022. They have to be I think it was in 2020, but they took a break in 23 because they had instead the top 10 LPL players, which included active players. But you had to be retired at that point. So I believe Wei Xiao and Clearlove were both in that list.
As they should be.
Very early on. I can't remember who else was in there, but yeah, and then of course we had the top 10, which included rookie. I included. I'm trying to remember. It included Gala as well. Actually, trying to remember. Anyway, it was a pretty tight list. It was good. We had like Uzi Vane. We had and it had chromas with all of them. So in fact, you know when we had the leaks before it was officially announced of like, oh, you know, Uzi's gonna get a Kai'Sa skin. The skin that they used to kind of like fake promo it was actually Jackie Love's chroma from the
no way.
from the top 10 LPL players team list of all time.
There we go. We keep our eyes on Jackie Love, notoriously also fantastic Kai'Sa himself. There's been a few of those through the LPL.
Yeah, I wanted to.
I would argue perhaps that Gala's the more famous Kai'Sa at this point. The Jackie's is anywhere near a slouch, make no doubt of it. But there you go, we'll keep our eyes on it. People like Wei Xiao and Clear Love getting the nods there, I think is pretty valuable. It's one of the things I think will be interesting to track as the Hall of Legends becomes a more tenured thing within the League of Legends esports space on a global sense. As there are some players from earlier seasons who people may not know as much about, but who are worthy of consideration for that. People like Wei Xiao, right? You have to consider as arguably the greatest AD carry player of all time, depending.
Important things, by the way. The Shy is using the Yorick skin with a hat. It's very important.
He has a hat.
Yeah, the thing about Pentakill Yorick, which people got really annoyed about, is like, my dude, this dude has like the slash top hat, even though it's the basis, but he had like the slash top hat in the skin, and didn't have it in game. In the splash, he had it. I was like, my dude,
Where's the hat?
Where's the hat? Important things. Very important things. Oh yeah, big reason why Char gets picked into Yorick, by the way. And now, problem is, we have seen ZDZ pick this into a Yorick and get absolutely blasted for solo losing a game. The reason why you're meant to pick it is because you get the sustain off of killing the ghouls. Cho'Gath passive is effectively when you kill a target, you heal a flat amount of HP. It doesn't matter whether it's a small minion, a big minion, or whatever. So with loads of the extra ghouls around, you can actually trade a lot more. Problem is, Yorick doesn't care. He still does a lot of damage to you. So yes, he's going to heal up a bit off the ghouls. But Cho'Gath still never wins trades versus the Yorick.
No. But on the other hand, it feels like no tank ever will. If there was a tank that might do it better than most, Yorick is probably up there with something like the Sion, which in fairness is banned away, I'll note. It's not like that could have been picked, where you can just press Q and clear the way from the face of it, JJ. Most interested in clearing as fast as possible. The Dark Possession comes on through. It's quickly knocked down. Hanoon, Yorick. Just put that out somewhere out there. Matt Mercer turns in his... I mean, not really a grave. He's actually alive. That feels like a bad bit of juju to give out. But, you know, the point still sounds proverbial. Voice actor grave.
Yes, which version of Matt Mercer? There's like a million of him. There's actually 2 of him within League of Legends, by the way. He's Gangplank and Wolf in Kindred.
Very true.
So he already plays multiple champions within League.
2 of the better voice lines.
Nice as well, by the way.
Nice work from Gala, yeah.
Xiaohou going topside. They do have kill threat onto the Shy here. If one more CC lands, could be a problem. Do Dark Possession.
Flash over the Rupture as ZDZ holds on to that one well. Just about out of mana here, but earns himself Flash as a result. So good stuff there from EDG.
No, with Xiaohou waiting in the wings, could have potentially tagged on with Red Buff and the crazy early burst of that Shin Zhao. That one makes sense to me. So that's an important summoner gone. Means that the Shy has less early kill pressure onto ZDZ. Still not, you know, doing the best in this lane, I guess, in terms of the trades. It is doing fine in the CS, though, even though the Shy will even up with that with the wave crash coming back in. This matchup only gets worse as it goes on, basically. Like, now is the good point. Much like with the Jax versus the Yorick 2, typically it's like,
to insult
wow,
your mother.
It's like...
Being really rude to all the staff. It just gets increasingly more obnoxious, you know?
Hang on. Look, this is a bit slanderous. Like, Yorick is actually quite a nice guy in the lore.
I chatted to his maiden. He says otherwise.
His maiden...
Poor girl has to deal with this horrible, obnoxious guy.
His maiden is only the negative bits of Isolde's soul, Sam.
I don't believe it. She's a wonderful lady.
That's... Are you simping for Isolde, Sam? let's get Viego on the case.
I'm supposed to say, I feel like you are strictly Viego going by all the skin edits. If you've not seen, there was an actual legitimate esports article on how alike Viego, one Nymaera next to me looks, his aunt. It's a bit of damage. There's actually a bit of rain coming on down. The Make It Rain comes on down. Aunt playing Meteorologist may have caused a bit of a squall in the bot side, but Wink can't find the dredge line to drag them back into stormy waters and they get to back away.
We finished the Viego topic?
No.
Okay. Oh, right, okay.
Bring it back every now and then, yeah. How does it feel to be Viego? Sudden urge to give in to your dark desires and bring ruin to the world?
I can't, no. Isolde, bring her to me.
Yeah, there is a little bit of the sort of like...
It's a bit Spanish, I think it's meant to be.
Is it going to be Portuguese? It's sort of a conquistador vibe to him as well, isn't there?
Sam, I'm not good enough at telling those accents apart to... Like, I'm not great at accents always in the first place, so I can't really...
That wasn't awful, though. I'll give you credit for that one. Chat, what's that out of 10? Give me a Viego accent
That's
rating.
wonderful. Dragon's being taken, by the way, in more important things.
Are you sure? I wouldn't keep
Yeah,
embarrassing you.
no, I think that is probably Sam. That this isn't even on the scale. my dude, I dressed up as a hot dog in front of like 40,000 people. Things which I've done for esports. Gala's playing really well in this Ezreal. His trading has been very good. That being said, still 10 CS behind. Much like in the top side, we do have winning trades, but not necessarily the winning CS battle right now. Xiaohao now sees a flashless Yorick in front of him.
It's easy with the ability to press R shortly on the Shy. Out comes the feral scream! And Shinzao will end up picking up the kill. Can't quite get the feast stack. So Cho'Gath going mildly hungry.
Yeah, the reason why he ends up not getting that feast stack is because the Q healing came in from the Shy. So at least gets to deny that stack. Gotta say, though, I'm questioning where JJ has been during all of this. I guess he's been farming better. But I do wonder whether he could have leveraged off the fact that his lanes were trading so well to at least get into the enemy jungle or something like that. I mean, it's not like the Cho'Gath could really come into the jungle to respond. Wonder whether there was another option for JJ to not leave his lanes out in the lurch quite as much. So what happens here? Dark Procession comes through. Q misses. It was a good trade by the Shy again. I guess it's too late, isn't it? That by that point, Xiaohao's walking up the river. Has one ward in the opening between mid lane and blue buff, but that's it. Didn't have enough vision to really be pushing up like that.
Gets punished for it. It does show where Xiaohao is. Of course, a little bit, as we said, look, early on, gonna make things tricky. There's that slow-mo of the healing from the last right, keeping him above feast execution.
Viego accent and the edgy voice lines are the worst thing about the character, same for Pantheon. Ooh, the thing is, I kind of like the fact that they have a little bit more... Look, they are a little too loud. And if you listen to Aatrox as well, my word, Aatrox is a very loud character. But I don't mind it a little bit out there. They are meant to be so edgy, you know?
Yeah, like, have you ever played Kayn?
Oh god, true.
Also, you've got to remember, I work regularly with Archeron, who basically uses Pantheon as like a motivational speaker. He like guy has like posters in his room practically. Goes, yeah, this is who I want to be. All these speeches they're about me. So you know that's the plan. ZDZ eats a bit of damage there from Gala, who down 10 CS or whatever, but been stable for a while. And I think IG, while they're down a bit of gold here, bringing it back to the game. I know we hate to do that, but are holding on well enough in an early game. As we said from EDG, they might have a little bit of an edge there.
Interesting thing coming through from Gala. He's gone for the half-bound axe first instead of going towards something like the Sheen or the Phage.
Oh, yeah, very true.
This is not typically the component which I see on the Ezreal coming through early. I know it is a good component. Obviously, I think all of the Triforce components are, but he hasn't gone for the lethal tempo. He's going for the Conqueror and just saying, look, I'm going to get so many attacks on target, it'll increase my attack speed. He's not going to be here for the Shy, though. Once again, the Shy's just been left out to dry on weak side.
Well, it's done a decent dark possession, but the Charm comes through the dives are there. Resets are in. Wink tanks turret aggro really well. And EDG with a really clean dive.
It's a clean dive, but also you have to question, why are IG letting what is meant to be a snowball lane fall behind like this? This is a problem if the Yorick does take a while to get online. We already said, hey, EDG, they spike better at components into one item, but it's not like IG couldn't fight with JJ on that side of the map, or Rookie hovering a little early. The Shy, okay, JJ gets that spike there, that's nice at least. But yeah, the Shy getting forced behind, that's not really what you want from the Yorick lane. You want it to be ahead and to be a permanent macro pressure.
Be the idea. Unfortunately, leaves a couple plates there. We'll note as well, IG got in the early dragon, but Grubs were traded 2 for 1, but it's still in EDG's favor on that one. So it ends up being a pip each on the tracker towards objectives, towards the feats of strength, but that's about it.
Okay, there's a lot of talk still. Hang on, is there going to be a... No, JJ's coming down. They see Xiaohao. Are they still going to go for a dive? Presumably not. This should be the end of the fight. So there's a lot of talk in all three of the chats now, actually, about favorite voice lines. Kindred's been mentioned. Kindred has
fantastic,
awesome voice lines. I will completely agree with that. Does anyone else have favorite voice lines within chat? I think actually Yorick has some really good voice lines. It's like
I love the nuance to Ramos.
There's Jin as well as up there too.
Yes, very good.
Love the nuance to okay. Just sometimes you need an okay in your life.
Wait, the French Ramos specifically. Wee. Ooh. On will flash away. Goes wee. In a very different nuance to the way.
Did you see what Baker Tab? While we're talking about voice lines, did you see what Baker did there? Use the hail for the move speed. Use the Nimbus cloak as well. Got in range to threaten on and then trade flash for flash. I thought it was pretty good.
Very nice.
I thought that was good.
Yeah. Well, I made a wee joke. Did you see that?
I didn't really know what the context was besides...
So French Ramos goes in a really weird accent. It's quite unnerving.
Gatekeeper Galio, fantastic
Also,
voice lines.
yeah.
Because it's the same voice actor that came back to do just a very different voice. There's a very funny line like, "Now for the 7th circle of hell, pool party." Haha, just kidding, it's more pain and suffering.
Very good. Gun Goddess Misfortune's got some great lines because you got the AI that changes voice depending on skin line, or like the version of the skin you're on as well. And just like sassy back and forth.
As in like the computer in the skin,
Yeah.
not the abominable intelligence, as
Yes.
the administratum would call it.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, JJ. Getting a bit of help from Rookie, trying to dive ZDZ this time. See how much value he can get from this. Dragon's going down on the other side.
Well, time to see whether you can prove yourself, CDZ, and deal with the rise. Somewhere out there, Season 8 is calling with its song in tow. They'll throw out the Dark Possession, force the flash out from the Cho'Gath, who is eating his own world right now, and the band falls apart. No more tours for them. The Shy gets another plate or two. Nice bit of a return play from IG. They'll trade out a Dragon for it, but because EDG got the earlier one, should be alright. The problem is, of course, EDG will now get first turret. As a result of that, I would imagine in this race, that there are two people.
I mean, Yorick,
here.
it's Yorick. Yorick kills towers really quick. It's going to be
Two
quite
grabs.
close. I think the Yorick makes the difference,
Yeah, it
though.
does.
So first tower goes over towards IG, which may help them in the race to feats of strength. EDG, though, a pip up on kills and objectives, so they're closer towards the other two, which would seal the deal.
Nice hook there, unfortunately for the side of Wink. Mako goes absolutely not and just headbutts him. I don't recommend that as a general response, guys.
Oh, we went to school with a guy that would just throw bricks in the air and headbutt them.
Who did that?
It was Michael.
Oh, that explains so much. Oh, yeah.
Interesting bloke. Quite likes it. Quite likes it, actually. He's a good guy. But he would headbutt bricks.
The thing is, that was my assumption, and I went, "What did he?" Really
No,
do?
that was him. He was, nice guy actually. Liked him a lot. But
Yeah.
just wished he would not take brain damage from stunts like that.
It does explain a fair amount.
Yeah, I'm not going to dox the full name because I think
No,
that'd be a bit unfair.
Michael.
There's plenty of people called Michael.
Michael Owen used to.
Yeah, it's Michael Owen.
Yeah. Little known footballer.
Hit a brick like it. If you can head brick, you can head a ball. Oh god, things that we talk about in League of Legends. So minimal gold lead towards EDG, and I'm not going to say nominal, although I guess it means the same thing in this case. But first item has been hit from EDG. IG have the Triforce. They have the cubed force, which is Triforce to the power of 3.
Well, it's not really then a try. Is it?
Anyway, so no, it's a force to the power of 3 because you have a Triforce and then 3 Triforces, which is then cubed.
So it's 3 to the power. Is it 3 to the power of 3 or 3 to the power of 3 to the power of 3?
It's force to the power of 3. So whatever force is to the power of 3.
Well, is it a dark side or a light side force, Al?
That's a great question, Sam. Things which I wish I could know. Maker caught out, but does have the ultimate.
Make it well unbreakable. You can never break my spirit. No,
my spirit. Maker goes down. 3 damage for the REQ on the way back does make it a little bit annoying to survive as the Alistair. By the way, if you've never watched that episode of Futurama, do it. It's really funny. Oh, Gala jumps forward. It's going to take half his HP. Now, that could be a bit of an issue, because now it means he can't necessarily defend the... Well, it means the Shy has to come over for this next wave.
Bullet time.
That's great, Sam. I'm happy for you. You know, I've just defaulted to saying that when I was like, how do I want to diffuse this situation? That's great,
But you
Sam.
could join me on the silliness.
I do occasionally, Sam, but I must choose my moment every so often.
Well, do you? Do you have to choose it?
My dude, between casting with both yourself and hysterics
That's
over time,
very
I've had to
true.
learn when things must be brought back to the path.
Oh dear. Well, Mango Meow saying Elementalist Lux has got some of the better voice lines. Actually,
hang on, Mako doesn't have ult hit.
over comes Xiaohao. Dead charge comes on down. Mako now get hit by the wind becomes lightning. We'll be fine. Turns out neither of those things do that much damage right now.
Arn ended up flashing away, but Wink actually had him covered. It was a great hook to stop the headbutt coming through from Mako. Didn't have that flash, still doesn't have his ultimate, just used the heal too. That hook hit somehow.
Gala's now in danger. Just get over the wall. The charm hits, but he managed to buff around, and over the wall goes Mako with his own headbutt pulverized. Angel now low, does not get taken down. JJ flashes out. There's a lot of people blowing summoners, and the health bar's traded, but no one dies.
And while all this is happening, if you look at the minimap, no one is on side lanes. Both of these teams really wanting to bring people to the play. EDG do have the third kill locked in, so they have that bit of the feats of strength. If they were to get themselves the Herald, which is spawned, they would get themselves full feats of strength, which feel pretty good on this patch, actually. IG have 5 people strong, and Mako's ult is now back up.
No flash on Angel, no flash on Arn. Could be problematic. Mako steps forward, makes his will unbreakable again. This time the Herald claim by Invictus Gaming. Let's potentially turn this around. The counter-strike with procs on GAG, but can go forward. The Dark Protection goes on down. Shy with the Crescent Guard running as the Shy gets absolutely popped. A 3 Talon Strike and a win becomes lightning. Fries the circuits of the Shy.
So the Shy tried to go in for a bop onto Xiaohao while his ult was running, but ZDZ just got a stack off of him. That's the kind of thing you don't want to let get too out of control, because again, it stops the Yorick from being able to take over in a game in the way that we know he absolutely can do. IG playing with a Yorick who's not as strong as he typically is at this point in the game.
Attacked pretty heavily here by the side of EDG. Only 200 gold behind the Cho'Gath, but that's still a ways behind in the matchup, which it shouldn't really have happened in. Still, for the side of the Cho'Gath, then that becomes pretty good because you've got quite a short-range composition here, and you can counter-strike all you want, JJ, but you will get feasted through that. Similarly, people like the Ryze and the Yorick, if they overstep, very easy, just press R on the nerve.
You know who okay, I just forgot what, like, this is less about the voice lines themselves, but more about just the voice acting performance. Fiddlesticks.
Also fantastic.
And the fact that the Fiddlesticks voice actor also does surprise party Fiddlesticks, which is a completely different kind of tone. It doesn't do the pig squealing and stuff. It's really wonderful. That is very hard to do vocal control of. So that's really cool. Of course, there's stuff like Cloud as well, which is funny as hell. And I'd also throw in Swain. Swain's
excellent.
Swain's got some very cool ones.
Coven Evelyn's got a wonderful bit of like
It's all very archaic language and stuff. Morgana has similar.
So it's the kind of, you get this horrible mix between sort of like ancient arcane power and then just that little bit of sassiness in there still. It's a good mix. In fact, generally the voice acting in the league is pretty strong.
Fiddle is the only rework better than the original. I'd say Scion's in there too. Scion is a very good rework. Came through in that late 2014.
Galio rework?
I like the Galio rework too. I think that was good, yeah. Although it's a very different champion.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, same deal with Aatrox. Like, it's a cool champion they made, but it's not the old champion.
I mean, it depends. Yeah, I think Galio's a good one. That's it. Gal has to hop out of that one. Heading towards that 2 items. We're heading towards the point now where IG can start to come into their own peak around that 2+ item mark. We haven't really seen the Jax get that far ahead of the Xin Zhao. We do potentially have another feast stack coming in for ZDZ as he could chomp that dragon. Jeje, he's going to get hit by Wink's ultimate.
But Rookie's here as well. The bullet time comes on down. Counter-strike buys a bit of time. Was a smite secure. Means it won't necessarily be up here for Dragon. And it's on a 15-second cooldown.
And while all this is happening, you know, that is a bullet time used. It's the Nautilus ultimate used, which means that the Shy, knowing that his team is safe and those ultimates are down, can push towards the top lane turret. Ari's now going to answer and will wave clear fairly effectively, but the Shy still managed to... doing the fun thing. We can lock off. This is one of the most powerful things you can do as a Yorick, by the way. Just locking off an area of terrain. Does take too many turret shots, though.
Summons the Maiden. Let's try and turn it around. Wink also coming on up. Has a flash and a death charge. I think there's a problem with the Shy. Flashes for his own last rites. Go out on your own terms. That's my go.
The Shy very nearly getting the regen he needed from that last Q to survive a little longer, but Angel using the last Spirit Rush charge to re-angle the Q for the damage on the backswing. Very close to missing that. Just about gets the damage calculation right. The burn with the Malignants included. So the Shy really struggling now. 0 and 4, shut down by his own team, and EDG really pressuring down onto him. IG scrambling now. Their macro plan has fallen apart a little bit.
Comes the Realm Warp, flash for the barrel, screams, silences, and denies the Realm Warp. Crescent Guard knock into the wall. Rookie now in danger, but JJ is the one who's split off. And another scream comes through from that Cho'Gath. Rookie now in danger as well. EDG find 2.
And this is while IG were just about to go into that power spike, just got an opening on the map because it was Wink and Arn that misused their ultimates onto JJ in the blue buff steal. Just before Dragon. IG making a couple of sloppy mistakes. I was saying, you know, earlier, look, you want to be supporting the Yorick early because you need him to be strong in those side lanes. You can see what happens when he's not as impervious in the 1v1 as you would like. It's a great pick-off by Angel, which allows EDG to play more aggressively on the other half of the map.
1,500 gold lead now towards Azari. Have a look at this play again because it's a really good combo between Xiaohao and ZDZ. This silence after the flash denies so much here. There is no way out anymore.
I wonder whether Rookie should have just kept walking, because it only matters if the Ryze is CC. I wonder if he should have just kept walking. JJ can potentially threaten a counter-strike, and then maybe Mako could have walked around to support the Ryze as he tries to catch up to the Realm Warp afterwards. Mistake there. Now suddenly Angel, 8 stacks in the Darksteel. 2 items hit. Has the improved Merc Treads as well, which can very much help versus the Jax and the Ryze. The CC combo can often lead to you dying before you can even flash out, which is a big problem. Angel's in the driver's seat now.
know what they say about making sure that someone takes the wheel. JJ hops forward, just not quite in range of the counter-strike. Angel's going to be on a back
And
away.
this is why they're useful.
Down, and they manage to flash away. JJ trying to get out to safety. Flash for the charm. Knockup comes on through, but it doesn't matter. They get the kill. Mako has got the flash, maybe forced to use it. Does so. Gets out to safety.
But look at the value from the chain lace crushers. Those upgraded Merc Treads 100% save Angel's life. He gets another kill participation. EDG will kill JJ, and EDG are very far ahead in this game now.
They are significantly ahead. Look at the top of your screen. That is near enough 5,000 gold towards EDG. It is Invictus Gaming. They've been known to finagle their way out of tricky situations before, but for EDG, this is a much better game state. We asked for a bit more proactivity, a little bit more playmaking. And they spike earlier, they play better earlier, and they find themselves now on the Atakan. Rookie is around. How aggressively do IG want to contest this? I think the answer will be quite. Here they go, looking to fight this one. JJ on the reset, looking to come on through. Here comes the Atakan still, trying to catch people out on the retreat here, perhaps. Can't get enough.
No,
they stick around for a bit of damage, delay another reset. The Shy still shoving bot side, but not much more than that out of turret game.
The only way you chase that down is with the Realm Warp and shove someone like Mako into it, but I don't think he's at a point where he can really force that kind of play. The Realm Warp actually came through now, try to see if they can catch out some split members. They actually will catch out Wink, potentially. He might be able to flash out, we'll see.
We managed to get the Rune Prison down. Flash for the head one. Just headbutt into the wall, into the Pulverize. Hops on forwards. Counter-Strike comes on down. And the kill turn into Rookie. They get the tier 2 as well. So there is a little bit of a silver lining there for Invictus Gaming.
Kill in a turret. However, on the other side, Atakan claims it's ZDZ getting another stack. By the way, he's on 9 stacks.
That's a lot of stacks.
You get max 6 from minions. And then the rest of them have to come from champions, large objectives, and the like.
It's a very large Cho'Gath.
It's a very large Cho'Gath who's getting pretty scary, actually, because champions like the Jax hate playing into Cho'Gath at some points in teamfights if they get fed enough, because getting silenced means you can't go through your big rotations. And it's just very hard to remove quickly from a team fight, especially once you have very mobile members cleaning up after him as well. 30 seconds till Dragon. EDG, if they get another Mountain Dragon, makes that tanky Cho'Gath even more tanky. And the problems will compound from Invictus Gaming.
You could say it's sort of like cubes the force or whatever it is we're talking about with the Trinity Force forced. There's powers at be.
Yeah, Trinity Force.
Xiao Hao also stepping on down, looking for potentially something. Can't quite land the wind becomes lightning, but I've invaded onto the blue buff. Mako's a little from his team. But the morning mist comes from the Shy to send his ghoul army out. Get him! He yells, and blue buff secured. No smite used for it. Right, begins. Down on 10% HP. Does have the bloodthirst, so it can heal up, but it's not going to be that fast right now.
Yeah, luckily, IG don't have themselves a Realm Warp. Rookie does have Flash. He wants to go towards Arn. He goes to it.
Arn will cleanse, flash out. Angel now looking to turn around. Gets a bit more damage. Doesn't actually have that much done onto Rookie. Managed to speed away as the depth charge comes on top of him. Looks for the charm. Lands it onto Rookie. All the while, that means they're not affecting the rest of the fight. Continue to be a mess. The Crescent Guard comes on down. Rookie still splitting up. Being really obnoxious. Wink is low. The Mystic Shot just wide. Continue to shoot though with Gala from range. Arn still at 20% HP. Can't get involved. Wink also nearly out of this. EDG, I think, are in trouble. Rookie gets one. Bullet time comes down on Rookie, but he's got a Seras. So much shielding. They're getting everyone. Oh, EDG. Not like this.
How do Invictus Gaming get away with it? They should never get away with that fight. Rookie flashes in and fails to get the kills which he wants. But EDG still split up in a way that they can't protect the misfortune. The fact that Arn starts the fight at that HP is an absolute killer for EDG. At that point, just give up the damn dragon. You don't need to die for it. Rookie took a great trade onto Arn to get him down to that HP. As soon as this happens, I think you have to play either for another wave in mid lane, get Arn healing off of those minions, or just call off the play. This is a huge mistake, especially when the Ezreal lands. You have to call off the play. Huge mistake. EDG not understanding the threat that they're under.
And then Rookie doesn't die. He becomes such a menace that they send 2 of their damage carries. The Ari, who's 1,500 of the gold, and this Misfortune is an extra 1,000 of the lead, are not involved in the fight. And at this point, you've got an Ezreal, you've got a Jax, you've got a couple items. They still do damage.
Yeah, it's a very mobile team. You know, Gala has a lot of range. The Charm doesn't land onto Gala either when the Rupture lands onto him, so the CC chain fails there. The bullet time doesn't full channel onto Rookie because he's Alan is shut down before that can channel to the full length of it. And now suddenly we have, you know, Ari does have the 10-stack Medjais. Angel is still very, very strong, and I'm a huge proponent of the Medjais. I think it is Ari's best item by far, but losing an important play like that, losing a bit of the wind in your sails, could be kind of crushing for them.
For context, that gold lead was nearly 5,000. It's now, what, 1,500? No, yeah, that's not a lot of gold difference, especially for a comp that will scale really well. You've got some important 2 items. I remember, has no flash, no cleanse, it's gone!
Teleport coming in from the Cho'Gath, but now he might be caught out of dodge too. Where's the DPS? No bullet time for this fight, of course, now.
Mako steps on forwards, gets a lot of value, finally gets into rush, but is still unbreakable with the will. Needs to back away before the feast can come on through, and ZDZ is left hungry. Can't find a kill onto the stake, which he would have so loved. It's left a little too rare for his tastes.
Yeah, Mako with that ultimate means that IG don't lose anything in the back, kind of like the backhand coming from EDG. Wink now quarter has no flash. He's gone too far now.
Goes straight to Rune Pigeon. Do not press go.
The gold lead's gone. The gold lead's gone. It's just chain in from EDG, a team that, yes, were in Group Nirvana, but hey, they've got some scrappy members, and IG, they can occasionally slip when they're dancing to the beat as well. For IG, they managed to pick up the pieces. JJ, Rookie, Mako finding their way into the cracks. Now Angel jumping forward, trying to get something, but the Baron's already gone.
Turn it around, ZDZ now in danger, gets a good feral scream for a second, but it's only a scream of pain as he's deleted. Realm Warp comes on through, looking for more. Counter-Strike is down, the bullet time's there, but they lose the jungler. Angel, no ult running, Arn in danger, gets tagged by the Mystic Shot, and the True Shot barrage. The Morning Mist landed, it's a triple to Gala.
Gala with a triple kill on the Ezreal, unkilled in this game somehow, some way. Only him and Angel will share that accolade. From this game, IG swing what was, as you were saying, a 5,000 gold deficit into a 2.5, 3,000 gold lead with the Baron in tow, with a team which does, I believe, outscale the side of EDG as well. The fact that EDG have thrown not just that first kill with Arn dying in the mid lane, but also Wink dying afterwards means it's so hard to contest afterwards. You don't have the misfortune. As we were saying, just coming out of the draft as well, EDG don't have great DPS. They have a good initial combo with the bullet time if it's there, and the RE, blah, blah, blah. They don't really have the ability to clean up in the way that IG just showed you they can on the other side. So much mobility, so much chase down, and a lot of damage across all their roles.
If you ever asked for the quintessential teamfight AD carry in the LPL of all time, Gala's probably at the top of that list. He is so good on champions like this Ezreal, like this Kai'Sa, who come into the mid game, come into these team fights, and just take over. Kills are now even. They've got themselves up that gold lead. There's a minute until the next dragon, which of course they claimed that last one, which denied Soul Point. Yeah, you've still got the 10 stacks on this, Ari, but how much does it matter at this point? How easy is it going to be to get more stacks when the rest of your team is beginning to slip away from relevancy?
Particularly when everyone but the Ezreal, and the Ezreal's even got barrier, are really quite tanky. You've got Merc Treads on 3 out of the 5 members, and the Alistar has the ultimate too. These are not picks which are easy to burst out very quickly, which is typically where Ari wants to play the game, especially with a bursty build. You know, the Malignants, Leandries, it is your slower burn, build better against the HP stackers, but it's not easy to play out that kind of game against a team which is so versatile, mobile, and with a lot of damage coming out of every single one of the members.
There's a Seraphs and a Zhonya's on the rise. On top of that, you've got the arm guards done for Jia. There's a Negatron glow on top, of course, those Merc Treads in the Shies. That's a lot of people who have a lot of ways to make Angel's life really difficult. Someone else will need to step up. And I don't know how easy that is right now. You're looking at a miracle bullet time, it feels like right now, which again, it is IG. They've been known to overplay once or twice. Well, they have the magic to come back into games. They've got the other side of that coin, which is the magic to lose them just as easily too.
Dragon coming up now. IG, of course, got that last one where the ball slipped away from the control. The EDG fell out of their hands. They're not even looking to contest this one. This is a team which really did need to get ahead and stay ahead.
Step 1.
They did step 1, actually. They shut down the Shy very well. Of course, the Yorick is a huge side lane threat, and they did very well at making sure that this game hasn't ended through top lane. It hasn't. You know, the Shy has not really had a chance to play into the Yorick's champion identity, which, you know, yes, it has become more team fight focused, I suppose, with the last changes. But realistically, we have seen how many games of Yorick getting 5k gold leads in side lanes now? That's not been the win condition for IG. They've actually been using Rookie's Rise to open up the fight so much more effectively in -1 Gala. We saw that. But IG now have themselves that third dragon, and I feel like EDG just don't have the burst damage to kill enough people on IG to make a difference.
Well, Baron's up in 2.5 minutes. Maybe that's the way you get back in. Try and corral people into the Baron pit and use your various AoE silences and bullet times to murder Invictus Gaming from within the pit. And potentially be an angle, but I don't know how easy that will be. Again, EDG with this issue in terms of structures. Well, 1 turret this entire time. Happened last game as well. Have really struggled to actually bring down some of those all-important map pieces. Invictus Gaming, you've got 5, and you've got a Yorick, you've got a Jax. Even if it is from the jungle, your ability to play the map wide with Realm Warps and split pushes It'll be very difficult for EDG, who kind of want to work as a grouped up unit on the whole.
Feels like this is just kind of a bit of a slow bleed out from EDG now. So what do you do in terms of pushing lanes? Well, no one can really match the Yorick. The Ryze gets to shove and not really interact with you that much. You don't get to catch out the Ezreal that well. Maybe a good enough flash Nautilus ult with a follow-up onto Gala. Maybe that can make a difference, but even it's so hard to do when Gala can shift away. IG will have to misposition very heavily for EDG to have a chance. I just don't see how this works out any other way. They don't get to steal a Dragon for Soul. It's not an Elder which you can flip it on. I don't think them getting a Baron steal even solves the game for them because they're likely to die on the retreats. Maker has that level 2 ultimate, has the Celestial Opposition. Doesn't have the flash to start a play, but hey, might choose to do so anyway. Walks beyond the Rupture.
Does indeed. The ZDZ will look to go forwards. That's the double pulverize after the headbutt. In comes the Morning Mist, and that sends the ghouls running at ZDZ, who's caught in the Dark Possession. Loses about half the HP bar. Not that much more than that right now, but Garlic has step on forward to get the Conqueror stacked. Well, the third disappears from ZDZ's relatively high HP bar.
IG, not over-forcing there. I think it's a good thing to do so. Those are the kind of fights in the jungle where occasionally the Misfortune can blast open enough HP to make a difference. Now, I don't think it's easy to, you know, one-shot most of the team, but you do have Infinity Edge, Lord Doms, and the Bloodthirst. It gives you that 50% crit chance between the Lord Dom with regards and the Infedge, which does apply on your ultimate. And it's not like you're against the Ornn Scion, which just never really take damage from Misfortune, really. So maybe in a good enough choke point, Arn could have blown something up there. And for once, IG actually say, hey, we're not going to walk into that fight, potentially lose our advantage.
Bishop Barrage comes across. Only tags Shao, but does tag him nonetheless. Managed to step on forward. Wink, caught in the Dark Possession. Does get freed swiftly by his team, who auto the walls and they fall down swiftly. Maybe Yorick needs to go back to construction school and learn how to build a proper wall.
Yeah, not going to get charmed. Angel was looking on that flank angle. Rookie dipping off that top lane now, has pushed that in. Could run warp into the mid lane. Fight comes through.
But pulverize again, the Morning Mist lands. It removes a lot of the resist of ZDZ. Knocks up the Jiaju, who tries to go into the Grandmaster Smite and just dies. Important moment. Headbutt pulverize. Angel can look for a little bit more. Another Rune Prison onto this Cho'Gath, who's still so damn tanky. The bullet time is solid, but out comes Rookie nonetheless. Gets another kill. The rumble into the back. That will mean ZDZ is in danger. Shao also trying to back away. Rookie immediately goes golden. Now in a bit of danger. Has to flash one out. The Rupture does so. Arn, rooted in place, cleanses out. It ends up being a pretty even fight for the most part. The health bars, though, from EDG a little low, and Gala feels empowered to Arcane Shift forwards. Angel misses the attempted pick with the Flash Charm. Love letter denied, rejected his Ari. That doesn't happen very often.
Gala showing so much threat on the back end that it ends up being JJ going down to the chomp from ZDZ again. 10 stacks now on the Cho'Gath. But you can see how hard it is for EDG to get more than that first kill, and particularly if it's not onto Rookie or Gala. The extra mobility is very, very threatening. Teleport back in from ZDZ to make sure that there's no snap Baron start, and they can quickly get control of that mid lane again. Dragon up in 30 seconds would be solved for IG. Credit to EDG, not getting blown out in that last fight. I really could see the angle for Rookie and Gala to just run them down. That wasn't the case. Just one picking out.
I feel like I've seen a Rick and Morty episode with that meme.
Yeah, just 20-minute quick adventure, quickly in and out. See if there's any tears after this one, I suppose. Okay, so tower taken down. Favor of EDG. I guess it's the top lane turret, I guess. Mako does have flash and ult. Potentially go for a big combo at some point.
Baron on one side, Dragon on the other. And here I am, stuck in the middle with you, ready to cast this team fight. Mako immediately presses the Unbreakable Will. Is charmed briefly by the Ari. Had to flash on out of the Rupture. Clearly was a toxic relationship.
It's going to be the maiden going down too. The reason Mako has to flash out, there's a lot of true damage on the side of EDG. The backswing of the REQ at this point in the game, and then the Cho'Gath ultimate, means that the Alistar ultimate is largely moot, and EDG will win the tug of war in mid lane somehow. And despite being down significantly in this game, they've got themselves a couple of mid lane plays, the good old EDG Ram, the E-Ram, to get themselves back into a fighting spot.
You've heard of E-boys and E-girls, but what about sheep, E-rams? They just wear like really edgy coats of wool, but Baron's being started by IG all the while. They didn't have control of the bot side, but there was a ward spot inside Angel.
Wake up, sheeple, the Baron's going down.
Angel pops that Spirit Rush, but they've blown the Baron fast. JJ will hop over the wall with a leap strike to a ward. Baron secured for IG.
Baron secured, and EDG don't start up the Dragon, nor do EDG actually manage to finish off the mid lane turret too. They'll be able to do that now at least.
You secure that one. The Shy Eater double up in an auto. So loses a little bit of HP, but it's not enough to really threaten him.
Rookie doesn't have teleport, doesn't have ultimate, is stuck pushing topside instead. They used the realm up here. They used that to get the Baron. Okay, I actually missed that while it was happening. So Rookie now with the Baron buff pushing up topside instead. Dragon is getting started by EDG. IG looking to break the base.
They'll happily trade that Dragon for a bit more map pressure, and that Inhibitor now under siege. They've got a lot of their members still on this Dragon. This Inhibitor is nearly guaranteed gone with little that can be done to stop it.
They don't give the chomp over towards ZDZ, which could have gone up to 11 stacks with that one. Again, every stack can make him much more tanky. You're already at, you know, a hideous amount of HP, just under 5,000 for ZDZ. Sole point for both teams now. IG a little ahead, but we're getting towards the point where gold becomes a little bit more decorative. Don't really like the fact that Arn has gone towards the collector as that 4th item, but I guess what other crit items do you have that give you decent AD? And I guess Misfortune likes this more than some others.
Fire might have been okay, I guess. Mortal Shield Bow, but then the collector, I suppose, gives you a bit of a dirk, and you do potentially get those really scary auto Q angles where you can just collect an Ezreal that way.
And I think particularly with the bullet time doing so much consistent damage, someone drops low that HP, the next wave comes through and often does just hang on a second. It's a good defensive Q from ZDZ pushing towards that tower. The Baron buff from IG, of course, still up and available. And if they get enough power play out of this one, maybe they'll feel better about the objective trade.
Problem is, at this point, you're looking at people like Rookie, who's got a death cap on the rise, 4.5 items for Gala, 3.5 for the Shy, the Jax at level 17 with 3 items complete plus a Negatron cloak. Like, you can kill off one of these carries just fine. The issue will be the rest of them.
G. Dodging out on the hook there is Gala. Mako as well. Mako still no flash yet to make a big play. IG trying to play across all 3 waves. They have super minions in topside, pushing in the other 2 lanes with the remainder of that Baron buff. Trying to make sure that EDG there could be a problem there. Hang on a second. Jumping forward, Gala. Gotta be a little careful there.
Bolder than I. Well, the wind becomes lightning. The backline goes Xiao Hao, who will immediately crest and guard. The turret goes. The Shy knocked up and will likely get knocked down, though, caught in the bullet time for the entire duration. ZDZ now trying to buy space. It's low himself. Jiche goes to the backline, goes golden. The health bars on Arn, and EDG not looking fantastic. Counter-strike comes on down, but there's still a very low Mako's in range to be feasted. Gets a bit of a heal. The triumphant roar does a lot of work. Jiche finally goes down. The auto Q from Arn. The double up gets him. Root onto Wick, though, who gets rune prisoned again. Rookie, the long arm of IG's law, brings out another. They've got the man advantage. They can look to shove on to potentially end.
That's what they're going to look to do. They still have a couple of sections. The Baron buff falls off now.
And try and at least get the rest of the inhibitors, and then maybe super minions can do the work that the Baron buff started. Final inhibitor falls. Xiao Hao and Arn doing their best to clear the waves. They are staggered. They're not all coming in at once.
So I don't think this will be the end of the game now. Baron buff has fallen off. Xiao Hao has his ultimate coming up just now. That could change things, though.
Flash onto Arn, true shot barrage, headbutt, pulverize is gone! They've lost the Misfortune, cannot stay. Xiao Hao gets 1, but it's only the Alistair. It's none of the damage. They're TPing in, and Invictus Gaming hold their nerve and manage to walk it down to the enemy Nexus. Onto the fountain. Rookie flexing at the end with a little bit of a style point.
That was a montage reel from Rookie and Gala in team fights towards the end of the game. JJ doing a mighty fine job of frontlining too, but realistically, this game as it went later
between Pop Blossom and Skarner Ul and Callista R and all those things. It's confidential. Sorry about that. Yeah, it was confidential picks. Couldn't let you see. See how that one goes. They've gone forwards to Nico. So basically, IG are going to play fire with fire bot side. The Callista Nico should beat the Lucian Nami early. One item gets a bit different. And then basically after that, you're looking to get the Akali to blow people up. IG are a little short on damage. That's the issue they're going to run to. Lots of CC, lots of ability to snowball hard. They are a little shy on damage, whereas EDG have got a bit more damage, but their front line is somewhat lacking. If they can get through to mid-game unscathed, eventually, you'll hit a point where if you blow up the Callista or the Akali, damage kind of gets a bit hard to manage. Your front line is still going to be very obnoxious. Lucian, not the best into dealing with tanks, especially before he gets a lot of items to work with. But between the Aatrox, the Pantheon, the Aurora, you will have a lot of damage to work with there. And that can get quite spicy. Kicking off part of the combo, the Lucian loses a lot of power. But onto the Rift we go. Let's let the crowds yell a bit.
碎。全军出击！
Nothing super scary here at the level 1. Did leave to get my tea. I was a bit worried someone would start some violence without me, but looks like we got away with it. Phew. Angel food blogs is the next trend. So I hear. A lot of social media presence of the various things he's eating. So, early lane, IG, get the shove. Exactly unexpected here. Nico, very difficult to beat at the level 1 with that Callista. You have ways of trading back with like the electrocute, a bit more sustained, but the double range, the overall burst of IG will be better early in the exchanges. And there is that shove, level 2, coming off the next minion. There it is. On zoned away, needs another minion realistically. So, he denied that shove. Rookie can't quite get out of the weirding there. It's a bit of a chunk. You are range into melee, which just sometimes just sucks. You've got yourself second wind and Doran's shield, so you'll heal up a certain amount of that. I randomly hear Angel's food blog on stream. Hang on, Xiaohao looking bot side, stacking up that passive, walked across the ward. Mako blew the heal there, as did Wink. Xiao looking for an angle. Throws another one of his Qs out, stacking up that passive. Believe more than one person in the chat watched the Angel food blog. I've been hearing great things. I've never watched. Does he have an English translation? My Mandarin is nowhere near good enough, namely non-existent, to watch. Aura top I get, but mid. It's not bad into the Akali. You can do this, right? I would... Looking to get decent shove here. The Aurora tends to suffer into people who outrange a bit. Like, you can Victor into Aurora, and Aurora just doesn't win the trades as easily. Rookie getting bullied early on. Very much so. He's trying to hold on to this wave. JJ's coming. Angel goes across the veil. Misses the upheaval. Rookie will throw down the Twilight Shrine to take a Q. 5-point strike gets a bit of work and gets to pick up a little bit more of a wave. Down about 10 TS here, having a bit of misery. Oh, the misery. Angel needs to hire me to translate. Mo, I would support you. Tell them I sent you. Go forth and become Angel's blog translator. I'm not independent of the blog of Mo. Bot side dive is happening, and Arn wishes he was independent of all this damage. Gala just about falls. Ends up being a 1-for-1. Wink survives, but of course, the difficulty here is that Lucian is losing this wave. Gala didn't want to blow the flash, so we'll die back. Bit annoying there. And importantly, I'll note, Lucian didn't get the assist. Which kind of sucks. And the flash is blown too. Xiaohao will give them the bait onto the Raptor camp, so something back here. But it's not really the best of silver linings, really. Like a bronze lining at this point. Not the same value. His Aurora stats look better because it's a counter pick. Yeah, very true. Very true. He's also on a team that wins a lot, which helps. Like, if a champion's getting played by every team at whatever level, you'll often find that the stats get skewed because lower teams will lose it because they're lower teams. So same deal, actually, sometimes very potent picks will have low win rates because the only people being allowed to play it are people who are not good enough to pilot the pick. Like, we've seen it with Callista before, right? Like, it would get through to I don't know, 10th place team, but your first through 4 would never be allowed Kalista, right? Because it's just like, against them, it's a death sentence. Xiaohao made their way towards the spot side. On, remember, no flash and no cleanse. A bit vulnerable here. Mid lane, Rookie not quite level 6. That means the Between Worlds comes on down alongside Electrocute proc. Just out of range of the twofold Hex. Mako's in danger. Flash, Aqua Prism, not quite enough. The heal comes on down, gets out to safety. Gonna turn it around a little bit now. My days, that got close. Mako survives. Clutch with the flash heal. Flash off Wink now as well, potentially punishable. Xiaohao also blew his flash. Gala's held on to his summoners. One ward in that bush, not spotted out as yet. Upside the Shy gets a nice Soul Furnace proc. So many people watching the Angel food blog from all over the place. Arm versus Arm must be fun to cast. It's you need to be very careful. It's easier, I will say. Schmerzenskind. Schmerzenskind? Schmerzenskind or Schmerzenskind? I mean, by the look of it, it should be a German one, so I'm assuming Schmerzenkind, but I'm not sure. But in British, Arn and On aren't super similar. If you've got an American accent, they are a bit more similar. You say Arn and Arn. But for British, On and Arn are different enough. It doesn't bother me to. With an American accent, it's a lot more similar. You'll say Arn and Arn. Very similar. As I said. Scion decides to yell cowards and kill some minions. Dragon being started here. IG with the Kalista would like to be picking up some objectives and haven't been, but they have rotated topside and pick up a couple plates there. Can look to go towards the grub. You can see Xie is waiting to start that one up. Let's just hope there'll be never an Arn on bot lane. It'd be quite funny. Exactly, you get it, Mecha. Just yell it in German. Flandre has more fun picks, I think. If you're competing for him for a CFO top, it should be hit Rest instead of Driver. Ooh. I think Rest and Driver have both been playing quite well, to be fair. But potential fight here is, remember, Wink, no flash. Aquaprism goes wide, Arn driven into the wall. In comes Xiaohao, though. Tries to come with the Grand Starfall. Will die, though, just Arn. Finally comes down, but between worlds they go. Gala dies for it. Xie looking to zone people off. Rookie still going through the passive autos. Gets another chunk down. Does have the R. Not available anymore. It's timed out. Needs to Shuriken flip out. Xiaohao gets away. Ends up being an trade of AD carries. Lots of ultimates blown. Lots of ultimates blown. But the Lucian dies again. Where does that leave us, really? I think once again, the problem is that Arn loses the wave. Gala doesn't. Yes, he's died, but in the end, you still got to kill onto the Akali. The Lucian drops the wave. We just give it that slight edge to IG. Summoner-wise, what was blown? JJ's flash, heal on Wink, cleanse on Arn. Not too much, really, in the grand scheme of things. JJ's flash, but the most prominent. Shy throws down the Soul Furnace. What a name for an ability that just gives you a shield. I consume the souls of my enemies in order to fuel my beating heart. It's pretty metal. Gala here with Arn in the mid lane. The Lucian army, normally the king and queen of mid lane priority. Vision control, so easy to a game when you start jumping forwards with the culling and the Tidecaller blessing and all the rest of it. Use that to really force the prio. But it does need to be a team sport, Lucian army. They decided to change their strategy, obviously, because this is the game where if they lose, playoffs are done for. Always going to be a bit of a tough ask coming up from Nirvana Group, going up against one of our Ascension teams, and IG. For all they've been volatile, still had an incredibly high ceiling. You're being asked to hands check some of the most veteran and successful players in the LPL. Angel does get a decent chunk there onto Rookie. They will need to reset here. Has got the teleport. Xiaohao's around. Over comes Jeje and Meiko. They're TPing in. Xiaohao needs to be wary, as does Angel. Pop Blossom onto the backline, gets 2. The boulder comes on down. Angel in danger, goes across the veil. But where? Where are you going? They want to donate the kill to Rookie, who gets it by Shuriken flipping into a nicely timed 5-point strike. And the bunny is slain. Second kill for the Sakali. Rest gap to Yorika's Shiv top yesterday. I can kind of see it, actually. I imagine you actually have a lot of ways to mess with the ghouls, because your burnout will do a lot, your twin strike will do a lot. You get to turn to a dragon and just ignore his cage and blow him up with ease. You then have to play Shyvana top, but somewhere out there, Gulborg is screaming to the high heavens. Says Nico. Indeed. Right. 44 seconds until dragon. Herald, a couple minutes off, but we might see a bit of a play around this dragon. Both our bot lanes ready and willing to play around it. Worth noting, Gala with the Halo Blades and the Ghost Blade is going to go more towards the lethality build. But it does mean you're a bit squishier, even if you do have, theoretically, a little more safety. And a bit more upfront burst. Cullen comes on down, but it's body blocked by the Nico, which is part of the reason you drafted into the Lucian. Need to be a bit afraid here. How? Light Slinger passive definitely coming on down. Armed with 1 item. How's his wink? The Imperial Mandate says Garlem's die. Doesn't quite. And the Emperor will look upon this sternly. The Shy even in gold, even a bad matchup. Truly my go. He is doing very well here. Like, Aatrox should beat the Sion early. The fact that it's not happened is a bit alarming. Part of it's been lane swaps, but even in the regular lane, the Sion was doing just fine. Part of it's Sion's very strong right now. Force the dragon we go. Shuriken flip just went wide. JJ trying to zone Xiaohao. Got the flash. Oh, he was very early on that smite. JJ got to do better than that. Fate's Call learn. Going to get the knock up afterwards. Pop Blossom comes on down, but Meiko just dies. Rookie has the perfect execution away. IG have fumbled this fight. In comes the Grand Starfall. JJ will die. That was very messy from Invictus Gaming. Early smite. Meiko goes in with an early engage. Doesn't get a knock up because the Impale's coming on, but the Impale's still active. Awful. Now Gala's going to die as well. Well, that was a disaster. I hope we get a replay that, because that was a cacophony of failures. Gonna get a turret here as well, I think. Puts them into a great position here. Then we get the first turret on our way to feet. Let's look at the replay here, because basically the smite is early, and then the turnaround coordination is really bad. It's 1,000 early. Not 1,000 early, 100 early. You had Callista too. I don't know what happened there. At this point, Meiko has no HP and tries to go back and it goes wrong, and then Rookie has to perfect execution out. You've got no damage. But the problem basically there was you overlapped the Impale with the Pop Blossom, and so or rather with the knock-up from Fate's Call, so you didn't actually get that much CC. The knock-up from Fate's Call doesn't come through. What we call a gentleman's sweep, lad. IG, potentially in danger. Mako and Rookie trading out. They managed to catch on to Mako. Still looking to turn around. Pop Blossom is there. Rookie's for looking for damage on Angel, but he's left low. Wink does go down. Rookie gets the reset. The Shy's TP'd in. Rookie might need to back away here. ZD's looking for his health bar. Does go down. The rest of the fight now commencing. Gala's finally turned up. Angel will die. Gets reset with the Ren. JJ will likely trade as well. Ends up being a 2 for 2. Mako, Rookie, JJ. I apologize. Make that a 3 for 2. TPs went flying. Not sure what else to say about that one. They'll get the invade after, but it is in the end a slightly better trade for EDG. Rookie couldn't teleport out. ZDZ importantly got 2 kills out of that. Was falling behind the Shy. 2 kills there. Help make things a lot easier. So misses the Shuriken flip. And then Rookie eats a lot of damage looking at Angel. And then gets the electrocute block. Does kill Wink. But then basically doesn't get a chance to TP out because ZDZ pops the World Ender and just gets to walk at him. Auto. Q. Actually, it's just an auto that he cancels hilariously. And On comes across. Doesn't actually get that involved. It's a bit annoying. EDG should pick up the Herald, and that will be feats of strength to them. IG now down about 2,000 gold here. The comp that really wanted to get ahead and stay ahead. Wink on this Nami. Being highlighted right now. See 100% kill participation? Damn. That's pretty good going. I think he is not quite. He's on 7 out of 8, so no. Was perhaps on 100% KP. Gold in between the bot lane is relatively even. That's not great for a Kalista. You want to be ahead, generally speaking. And stay there. Rookie, 3-1-1. Still pretty scary here. Of course, the Angel's now caught back up again. This Akali's got to do a lot of work. Rookie, got a couple MVPs already so far. Got it on the rise. I think he got it game 1 as well, for that matter. On the Silas. We have started to see Akali rear ahead a lot more regularly here in the LPL, and quite successfully so. Herald immediately summoned mid lane. 30 seconds on the next dragon. It'll be sole point for EDG. I think IG are going to have to fight this one. Or things get scary. Eyes on the Lucian. 2 items. And some free-ass boots. Doesn't necessarily need any upgrades right now. Just wants the raw damage, and understandable here. Carl needs to be a little aware of potential opportunity to step forward and chunk him up before this play. Turret falls in the mid lane. Arn gets it. Rookie looking for a flank. Will get spotted here on a control ward. Has to back off. Angel goes across the veil. Rookie clears out this bot wave. Gets a bit of a shove. On. Sort of on JJ. Throws an upheaval over the wall. Don't know why I thought he was on. He's on the top of my screen. CDC here as well. Looking to see whether they might be able to pick out Gala. Not happening so far. Needs to clear out this wave. On. Looks for something. The Shy. Doesn't really care that much about the culling. So not the greatest use there from On. Between worlds as well. Those are big ults to burn. Not sure about that one, EDG. That could really hurt you here. Just forces IG back for a little bit here. Not that much more. Onto the dragon. IG go. They know they've got the ult advantage. Sound can join. Rookie off to the side. Xiaohao in a bush unspotted right now. They know Rookie's there. Spears everywhere. Make this a weighted flip. Rookie potentially in danger. Jump from the Shy forwards. Rookie gets jumped on. Will get over the wall. Takes a lot of damage. All the while, Pop Blossom on 3. Gets the Impale afterwards. Brings down 1. Gala throws down the barrier. Trying to stay alive. Xiaohao knocked up by the Fate's Call. Does go down, though. Jump on forward with the shield vault. Gala trying to hop away as EDZ looks for his life. There's no turret to run to safety. And they keep hunting for more. It doesn't matter. They've lost 2 ultimates. Rookie's not here. TPing back in now. But Rookie wasn't involved in the play. It was only Gala with damage. Maybe you can look at ZDZ here. Lands the Shuriken flip, goes back on forwards, puts down that Twilight Shroud. Needs to be a bit aware as Wick can just heal him up. No damage from Rookie right now onto this Aatrox. They can turn back towards Dragon, despite the good start. Rookie being zoned off was a big enough deal. There is no damage without Rookie there. And Gala is not staying alive. Gonna come over and play this anyway. It goes down. This comp was always a little bit reliant on the snowball. And they don't have a snowball. They've got like a puddle of water. Maybe looking to turn on to Atakan regardless and force a fight. Okay. Well, lots blown in that fight. No one with a flash aside from ZDZ. So they're going to give up this Atakan. It's not the game winner the way it was not so long ago. ZDZ is now here. Oh boy. This gets interesting. Angel on the side. ZDZ looking. 8 seconds on the World Ender. In comes the Culling Sign. Will body block it. Gets a knock up onto the Pantheon. Atakan secure. The Shy goes with the zombie fall. Rookie in the backline looking for an angle. Needs to try and find some value. Arms in danger. Watch out for the perfect execution. They killed off the Lucian. The Shy zombie finally falls. JJ split apart. Angel looking for more. Rookie needs to back away. They've lost Gala again. Mako again. The bot lane died on the other side. Flash for the Darkin Blade. And Rookie just can't do enough. Flashy enough. But they lose 4 for the price of Atakan. And only a kill onto Arn as well. EDG looking very commandingly ahead now. 3 dragons and more gold. Yeah, that Aatrox is a problem. That Aurora, that Pantheon are a problem. The Lucian being only minorly ahead doesn't really matter, does it? Gala's going to have to do a lot more than that. And Gala needs to not die. Easier said than done when the Aatrox and the Pantheon are gunning for your head every time. Initially, starts off with a good block on Xiaohao and Arm. But Angel on the back end of this play gets onto multiple people. And where does Gala even go? ZDZ from one side, Angel from the other. Yes, Rookie kills off the Lucian, but everyone else dies in the meantime. Nowhere for Rookie to run. Gets out of the Infernal Chains with the Rocket Belt, but flash for that Q and that knockup is enough to bring Rookie low. Gets that Q3 and everyone dies. Well, never let it be said that IG are above giga-inting a game. How on earth did IG come back in? The Callista is not going to be killing anyone very easily this game. At least Rookie's got 2 items. But you need more than that. This Nico as well, caught only at the Rocket Belt. Will struggle to stay alive, I think, here. That's not bad from Rookie. Arn's in danger. Goes down. Will likely get traded for this. Shuriken flip is fantastic. They get another. In comes Shower. He's stuck under the turret. Tidal Wave comes on down. Trying to get some more back. Can't quite get it. But a 2-for-1 there isn't bad. The Lucian and the Aurora. And you get the ult out of Pantheon. That's pretty good. Hexcape behind now. This turret will likely fall. EDG need to back away. JJ is going to keep looking. Can he get in range for an Impale? Lands the Upheaval. Gets it onto Wink. But Wink will flash away, so it doesn't quite land. Additional Summoner Earth. Not bad from IG. Needed to find something. Still not a great position in the game. If you're ever going to find a way back, that's not a bad start. Does it turn anything more, though? Not really. Minute and a half on Dragon. It means a delayed setup from EDG as a result. Looks like the only person with a positive scoreline right now is dear old Rookie. He has managed to kill off a few people in the backline. That's great news. Just don't know about what this Callista's going to do. Got the edge of night, but easier said than done staying alive here as the 2 items have come on through. And I feel like at this point with these comps, 2 items on EDG's comp is a lot scarier than 2 items on IG's. Importantly, those summoners are largely back up and available for both teams. Gala's will be up shortly. ZDZ will claim that tier 1 topside. Has got the teleport. No flash on him. And no flash on Wink. Those are our biggest differences. The Shy's flash about to come off cooldown here. 30 seconds on Dragon. And a Hex Soul for EDG. Would be lights out for IG. Their power grid would be very overloaded by all the extra lightning. The Sakali champ, though, yeah, she's pretty scary. Only person on IG with a gold lead. Scary. TP in. Mako hiding as the Akali. Both with rocket belts as well, actually. In come the spears. Another weighted flip. Grand Starfall can break the front line apart. In they go, looking for more. Xiao knocked up. They take the dragon, and now that Pantheon's in a horrible position. Pop Blossom after onto everyone! Mako gets them all, but between worlds they go. Angel into the backline, doing as much work. Rookie very low here, makes this problematic in the extended play. The Shy still very tanky in this front line. Arn looking for a bit more. Gala finally with a decent health bar to work with. As Rookie's got TP, may need to reset and come back in. But they'll take a kill onto Xiaohao. A number of flashes blown again. And a stop on the Soul. Baron's up. The EDG want to look at that? Certainly going to start moving over there. Grand Starfall was good, but it was really well read. The Shy timed the decimating smash perfectly. Mako lands a root afterwards. And this Pop Blossom was beautiful. Absolutely everyone caught by it. And then Angel really regrets going that far forwards. Mako gets to survive. Rookie gets to survive. First time they haven't managed to get a kill with the combo EDG in a team fight. A very long moment. Hey, Harold. Good to see you. IG champs just heal Aatrox in a long fight. Yeah, there is a bit of that. Can be problematic. They'll probably need some anti-heal somewhere at some point. They've got double Thorn Mail, which does help. An Oblivion Orb on Mako as well. They know their business. The Infinity Edge is done on Lucian. That'll help a bit as well in terms of EDG's ability to pump out a fair amount of damage. The Lucian, I think, will want a Lord Dominic's Regards next pretty heavily. Gala, though, nowhere near that third item himself, which is a bit problematic. Again, this Callista really in the greatest spot this game. Akali's got the arm guard. In comes the Shy. Didn't really find all that much there. Not quite sure whether they needed to burn that ultimate. Either way, may now be forced to leave to go clean that wave the other side. The Akali shoving in that top side. It'd be a fairly difficult champion to match there right now with that arm guard and the Shadow Flame. A lot of burst in general. That safety too, which is always at a premium. I need a few more games like this for Mako for me to forgive him for his Blitzcrank game. The Blitzcrank game was bad, in fairness. Opportunity done for Gala. That initial burst will be pretty nasty here. Theoretically a problem for someone like a Pantheon or the Lucian, or in fairness, that very squishy Aurora or Nami. But Aatrox will not give a damn. After that, the consistent damage from Gala is next to non-existent. It's not the same. Hail of Blades ends, and you go, what do I do here? Good pierce damage there. -1. Absolutely. Shy. Ignores Lucian damage right now. The only person who's realistically going to hurt the Shy right now is probably the full team comp, or maybe the Aatrox. Finally takes a bit of damage there. With the Soul Furnace on cooldown. Minute and a half until the next dragon. Baron's up. Do you want to try rushing that? Clearing out vision currently. Rookie resetting. What's he getting? Full Zonyas? At least an NLR you'd have to imagine. Yeah, there's the NLR for Rookie. Wave also shoved pretty deep top side. We'll get to keep shoving in slowly. Aatrox returning favor on the other side. Scuttle Crab vision claimed by IG, who need to reset sharpish to be in time on the other side. The Shy getting attacked briefly, be up by Arn. Hex gates mean they can get back on a pretty good timer here at the very least. Problem is, IG have no control on this bot side river while they were putting wards down on Baron. Trying to use Nico close to buy time. Is forced to retreat with the heal. Half the HP bar on Mako gone. We'll get a reset off. Try and Hexgate back in. 10 seconds on Hex Dragon. Your Nico not around a lot. Your ward's therefore not around either. Valuable as the attempt at vision control was denied for IG. Still managed to find their way into the river nonetheless. Gala stepping forward. He's the one with the spell shield. See what's going on. Mako's back. In the form, of course, of the Akali. Mako off vision. Looking for potential flash angle. Has the fate sealed. Rookie on another flank angle. Angel similarly waiting for his moment. Hexgate available. Will face check Angel. Throws between worlds as well. Dragon secured. Angel now in danger as Rookie looks to 1v1. Pop Blossom again from Mako. Flash on him from Rookie. Looking for the perfect execution. Blows up Wink. It's left EDG split apart here. Who tried to try this out? ZDZ is still absolute menace. They've blown at least some up. ZDZ continuing to heal. Rookie goes golden. Mako being jumped at. The tangle blobs. Buys some time. Arn driven into the wall. Dies. ZDZ had his world ender split. Rookie and Gala die. On the other side, 3 members dead as well. IG come out on top somehow, some way. And they get another dragon. Rookie, I thought he'd go for the 1v1 with Angel. And actually went for the flash ult. To pick off Wink. And I think Arn as well. Just this Aatrox is a problem in the extended fights. Who on earth deals with him? With difficulty is the answer. Let's have a look at the replay. Because initially, bit of a chunk onto Rookie, and Rookie goes, great, I'll land the Shuriken flip. And the moment that lands, it's scary. Angel fails to get across the veil onto his own ult, and then Rookie flash R in. And R2 ensures they die. Shuriken flips out to safety. The problem is, look at ZDZ all this while. There's a lot of work in. Rookie can't quite run away from ZDZ. The Zonies prevents immediate healing. Still not enough. JJ at least drives Arn into the wall. Going towards a death cap next. Don't blame Rookie. In another world, ZDZ cleans up that team fight. Got split apart well enough there by IG. Managed to just keep their distance. Shy on this Scion as well. It's becoming a real menace as a frontliner here. Gold, only 2,000 really. For EDG, not that significant at this point in the game. You've got 4 items of illusion. That's scary, don't get me wrong. But at this point, I feel like EDG should be able to start running away with the game, and that's not really happened the last couple fights. It's Akali, much like this Aatrox, becoming a continual problem that EDG need to manage better. Mid lane tier 2 finally falls for EDG there. Rookie being jumped on, throws down the Twilight Shrouds. It's got a Shuriken flip. Buys time. Shield Vault comes on through. Mako in danger. Rookie goes to try and buy some time. Has got the ability to try and R back in. Look for more damage. Xiaohao in danger. The Impale comes on through. Shuriken flip. Gets the kill on the Lucian. Pop Blossom after. And Rookie survives. He takes a triple with him. What a turnaround. What a punish. And Xiaohao is left wondering how on earth that Akali played with smoke and mirrors so hard. Cuts himself on the broken glass, punching reflections. JJ getting that impale afterwards, setting up for that insane perfect execution damage before the redemption could come on through. That might be it for IG. They have made just found exactly what they need to take control of the game. Rookie at 10 and 4. He might be going for a clean sweep here on MVPs. What a day that mid laner is happening. One of the greatest to ever do it. Just broke the ankles of EDG. I hope we get a replay, because that looked like Rookie was in serious danger. CDZ gonna try and jump onto JJ. Who is actually gonna be split off a little here. Angel goes golden. The Impale comes on down onto 2. Angel split off in danger. The Ren comes on through, driven to the wall and dies. Now Rookie in the backline looking at Xiaohao. They pick him up too. Oh no. Oh, EDG, not like this. Your dreams of playoffs look like they might continue this game. You had everything in your hands. The early game was yours. And then time after time, Akali with a death cap. with the hands of one of the greatest veterans who have ever touched League of Legends, a world champion. Will make you suffer, ZDZ. This Aatrox. Does he have another chapter to write yet? Not really. Denies an overshove at the very least. 30 seconds on Hex Dragon. That'd be sole point again for IG. Let's have a look at the replay. Oh, they're doing it in movie mode. Rookie buys so much time. Shuriken flip into the shield bot. Rocket belt away. Zhonya's ignores the culling. Shuriken flip again to avoid the Comet Spear. Tidal Wave hits nothing. The Impale. The reactivation on the Shuriken flip. Mako with a Pot Blossom. Rookie, take a bow. Your backup dancers did some good work there. Let's not take the plaudits away from the rest of IG. But the time that Rookie bought setting in that Twilight Stride, the Zhonyas, the mobility. EDG were baited in. Fish on a line. Towards the dragon they go. There's a 6,000 gold lead for Invictus Gaming out of nowhere. A game that looked like it was over. We said, well, maybe the Akali could do something. She's 4K ahead. Good Lord Almighty. Jumped on again here. The culling's going to hurt. Rookie gets away with it. But again, gold has only bought you damage. Shy going to flash and run away. Oh, flashed in front of Invictus Gaming. Oops. Not immune to an occasional mess. Rookie gets back. The Shy does not. That is a little problematic. Still a 4.4k swing. Flash from ZDZ blown there, but Shy also blew his flash. What did Rookie go back and buy? Not a lot. I think he's got enough to complete the Aether Wisp into something. All the while, though, that was happening bot side. Gala broke another inhibitor turret, so that did happen, worth noting. BF Sword and Inventory for Gala. GA, Bloodthirster, both options. I imagine GA, because the autos won't come on through super easy. Game 2, Game 3, same thing. Rookie's too good. Sometimes he's just like that, folks. Caster's happy 3-0 EDG so he can rest early. I did have some very early meetings. So there's a little bit of like, oh my days, I can finally rest. But if it went more, I'm not complaining. The high drama. That's kind of fun in its own way, isn't it? The problem is you've got Randuins and Thornmails done now as well. This Lucian. But having the easiest time. Rookie did take a lot of damage in that last fight, though. You saw the Akali not immune to getting blown up. She overplays it. On, forced to cleanse. Tidal Wave comes on down. Gala throws out the barrier, backs away. Grand Starfall comes on in, but that just means you get impaled. Oh no, Xiaohao. That's a bit problematic. Fade's cool down. ZZ on a flank angle, looking to get some value. Mako with the Pot Blossom gets a bit of a knockup. Will likely die here. Goes golden. The Shy in the backside. Rookie trying to find a moment, but he's dead. Rookie is dead. They've killed him off. ZDZ does it. They get the Shy as well. Great flank angle. How much further can they run? There's 45 seconds on Rookie. At least the waves aren't super shoved, but I think they might want to run for a lot here. You can at least get an inhibitor, you have to feel. Maybe more. How did Rookie die there? His Zhonya's was active. Wait. 30 seconds. I want a lot of key members here. Inhibitor's about to fall. The Nexus turrets are falling on the other side. JJ and Gala have to hold the line. Clear the wave. Don't have Gala jumped on. He has no flash and no barrier. They smited away a lot of the wave. Waiting for the next one to come on through. 10 seconds. They've gone way too deep. Wink's in danger. They can't reset. There's a teleport on Rookie. He can look to get back. Mako's body blocking a lot here. Impale forced to flash from on. Trying to buy time. Tidal Wave lands. They need to reset. But there's some support pings. Does Rookie want to TP? There's Hex Gates as well. JJ in the backside. They're stopping the reset. The minions are doing the work for them. Hex Gates finally come on through. Oh, heck. I saw the thinking there from EDG. That might have been their last window. Another inhibitor falls courtesy of the Winions. And they saw a moment, and I don't blame them. I really don't. But the wave was too far up and they can't quite brute force it. And with the resets being so late, they can turn to Baron and rush it. Not going to be the fastest rush of all time. Akali is on a flank position. Dragons in a minute. Rookie off vision. Could murder someone. Anyone, really, who oversteps. Baron secured. Resets come on through. We fight over Soul. Rookie sold off that Aetherwisp for a Void Sat, for a Blighting Jewel, I apologise. It's probably sensible. The Lich Bane, probably a little bold. I think what else Aetherwisp builds into. I'm having a moment. I know it builds into some other stuff. Struggling here to remember what. I'm so used to it being Lich Bane over everything else. Cosmic Drime, possibly. Rookie getting jumped on. Gets away to safety. Jumped on Zhonya's. Xiaohao quite deep. All the while, look where IG are going. They've got Baron. You need to reset, folks. And Rookie's going to delay them. But with the resets coming on through, they're all gone back. They can turn back towards the dragon. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. The push, the pull. EDG pushed over the edge. Pulled apart. It feels like Han in danger. 3v4. Dragon started. They can rush it. Xiaohu's there. Has no flash. Would struggle to get in here. Remember with the Callista, you can rend smite. It's never an even state of affairs. Rookie buying time. Angel into the backline. They want the soul. That's the win con secured. JJ tanking up. Pop Blossom on 4. Rookie looking for the backline. On! Aren't alive anymore. They blow up the Pantheon. EDG is trying desperately. He gets one. But Rookie stepped forward. They got the healing. Flashes, but has no one to auto because a Twilight Shroud is there. And Rookie once again disappears into the murk. Angel. Go golden all you want. You're going straight back to heaven. Caught between the veil. Stays on the other side of it. Wingcaster wave clear by himself. He can't do that, surely. This Nami will be there desperately. Futilely wave clearing as IG maraud forwards. It's the sacking of Rome and Edward Gaming, one of the great organizations in the LPL. They climb up from Nirvana, immediately snuffed out by Invictus Gaming. They can't enter. The inhibitor's respawning, surely not. There can't be another tail here yet. I don't believe it. They have to leave. It's enough. It's enough. They've got Hex, Soul, but EDG are on the cliff's edge. They've been pushed over it. Somehow, somewhere, they found something while they're falling to hold on to. Does it change anything? Not really. But they're here. They can play for it. And that's a damn sight more than dead. Playoff streams alive. Barely. Mako. Pop Blossom is fantastic. ZDZ is still a problem in the backside. My God. Angel flashing on forward gets some value, but ZDZ, the healing here in a second, is foul with the passive auto. But then Rookie, once again, gets to press W, disappear from view, and there is no Qs available to try and just cold read where he is in the Shroud. 44 minutes on the clock. Surely we don't go to Elder. Builds are getting near enough full. Was Overlord's Bloodmail done for the Shy with that late? I don't even remember what that item does anymore. Overlord's might be Tyrant's Bloodmail, actually. Something about an autocratic leader and Bloodmail. EDG are making IG work for it, aren't they? Is there another chapter in this most tumultuous of games yet? It should, by all accounts at this point, be IG's game to lose. The Akali alone is such a problem. The map state is such a problem. And yet. And yet. 1,800 stacks for the Shy, by the way. He has got, what, nearly 7,000 HP? My God. Putting the dirty and clean sweeper IG right now. Serpent's Fang. Serpent's Fang for ZDZ. try and deal with things like JJ and the Shy, denying so much of his damage. GA's done for Gala. The Void Staff for Rookie. We've got elixirs pop pretty much everywhere you care to look. 1 minute until Baron number 3. Moment of calm before the coming storm. Hope you're prepped for it, folks. I think it's going to be a big one. IG, group up in mid lane. Rookie, heading towards the top lane. In comes the Shy. Forces multiple flashes. The Impale on the flash misses. Up is JJ in danger. In comes the Grand Starfall. The Scorpions left down the try. He's gone. He's gone. Splatted. The Shy trying to buy some time. The Shuriken Flick goes wide. Man down for IG. Man down. Hexol notwithstanding, trying to get some value back. In goes Rookie, but he eats a weirding. Pop Blossom on the front line. Down into the GA they go. The Shy low, not quite down. Gets another GA. They're back. Xiaohao step forward for shield vault. GA to his own GA. Gala, I apologize. Rookie to the backside. Trying to get a wink. Gets him. Angel's dead as well. Rookie goes golden. They get even more. The whole team is gone. In the 4v5, Invictus Gaming live up to their namesake. And Edward Gaming, the comeback, it falters here before it can even really get momentum. 15 kills on one of the greatest mid laners to have ever graced the game. A team full of world champions, MSI champions. They have to work hard. They have to climb back for some fumbles. It matters not. Invictus Gaming bring down one of the old greats within the LPL, and back down to Nevada they go. Hope finally dies for Edward Gaming. Welcome to playoff proper, IG. It never changes, does it, this team? It never changes. I think we just saw another MVP from Rookie there, folks. And let's be real, he will deserve it. No way he does.